evening, everyone, and welcome to the Class A Region 4 semifinals in Hazard, Kentucky. I'm Kevin Myers. Johnny Osborne will be joining me in just a few moments. Our contest tonight is between the Hazard Bulldogs and the Pikeville Panthers. Pikeville comes into tonight's contest with a record of 8-3, and the Hazard Bulldogs, they sport a 11-0 record on the season, and about this time last year, the Pikeville Panthers were the ones that put it past Hazard to stymie any playoff hopes. And if you remember, the score last year of the Pikeville-Hazard matchup was 62-11. And joining me now is Mr. Johnny Osborne. And I guess, Johnny, the Hazard Bulldogs are going to keep that defeat last year in mind.
Kevin, I'm quite sure they are tonight. I'll tell you what, we're getting into the playoffs as the Class A Region 4 semifinals tonight here at Hazard. And I'll tell you what, Kevin, you know how things are when it comes to playoff time. You never know what's going to go on. Hazard, I do believe, has been the #1 team in the state this year. But I'll tell you what, it's playoff time right now, and you know there's a lot of things that can happen.
And if you're wondering what that noise is, we got some Hazard Bulldog fans. It looks like they got milk jugs with, I guess, pennies or something inside. It's a noisemaker of sorts, and doing a pretty good job.
Doing an excellent job with that, aren't they, Kevin?
But both of the teams are out on the field right now warming up, and we're trying to warm up. We're up here on top of the Hazard press box, and going to have temperatures tonight probably down into the 30s, maybe upper 20s, much like it was last week at the Pikeville and Everett's game. But this game is going to be much different. The Hazard Bulldogs by far are considered I guess, possible winners in tonight's contest. The Pikeville Panthers are definitely underdogs. And in fact, Rick Bentley with the Appalachian News Express wrote an article in today's edition saying that basically both Pike County teams are underdogs for the first time in years.
I'll tell you what, Kevin, it definitely has been the first time that two Pike County teams such as Belfry and Pikeville come into a game being underdogs. But it's like I said once before, one thing you do have to remember during the playoffs, there's all kinds of upsets that happen, and we very well could be watching one here tonight.
And I'll tell you, for the Pikeville Panthers, looking at their roster, there's going to be some fellas that are really going to have to play a flawless football game tonight. You look down the roster, you see names like Nathan Ellswick, Stephen Kreitzer. Nathan Ellswick's a 5'9", 160-pound senior. Stephen Kreitzer, he's a 6'3", 175-pound junior. J.I. Joplin, he's a very quick person on this, both offensively and defensively, on this Pikeville team. He's a 5'5", 130-pound junior. And then you got your guy, Mr. J.P. Blair, the quarterback, 6'3", 190. He's a senior, and he also plays dual roles and plays a very good defensive position.
I'll tell you what, you really can't say enough about J.P. Blair, because J.P. Blair is just an all-around player. I believe that you hinted or alluded to last time, Kevin, that he got a scholarship from the University of Kentucky, didn't he?
Well, that was the rumor as of the last game, that the University of Kentucky was looking at him, and he as well was looking at UK. Of course, no deal has been inked that I know of, but it's a pretty good possibility that he'll go to UK. And you've got the Hazard roster there. It looks like they've got some pretty impressive folks, too.
And I'll tell you what, Kevin, they sure do. The 1992 Hazard Bulldogs. There's a few players that you need to watch out for tonight. The first one, number 7, Pete Combs. He could be coming in as quarterback tonight. He is a junior, 5'9", 205 pounds. Also, one of the guys you have to watch tonight, Joey Kilburn from Hazard. He's a tight end. He comes in as a senior this year, playing his last year, 6'2", 225 pounds. And we've also got Robert Warren, number 32. He's a junior. He's coming in at fullback tonight. We need to keep an eye out for him. And Colby Combs, number 24. He's a 5'9" junior, 175-pound halfback here at Hazard. And I'll tell you what, we should have a very exciting game tonight here, Kevin.
It's definitely going to be exciting to see the action that takes place here tonight in the Class A Region 5 semifinal playoffs, and we'll be back with some pregame interviews in just a moment. In fact, we've got Mr. Butch Joplin, the offensive coordinator for the Pikeville Panthers, coming up in just a moment. So keep it right here on TV5 WPRG Sports.
My family means everything, and I'll do whatever it takes to make sure they're safe in our home. I started with this, a whole home security system with 24/7 monitoring. We control our system from anywhere, and wherever I am, I can see my family's okay.
You'd do anything to protect your family. Start with this, a smart home security system from Gearhart Security. Call or visit gearhartsecurity.com to learn more.
to Hazard. Kevin Myers, Johnny Osborne is taking a break right now. He'll be back with us in just a moment. But joining us right now is Mr. Butch Joplin, who is the offensive coordinator for the Pikeville Panthers. And Coach, I guess the Panthers have their work cut out for them tonight, both offensively and defensively.
Yeah, well, we knew that coming in here, you know, because you don't get 11-0 without being a pretty good team, you know what I'm saying? But we've worked pretty hard this week, and we've studied a lot of films on, you know, and we know they've got a good ball club. But we're a young ball club, but we have really actually been improving over the last 3 or 4 games, you know.
You've played some pretty stiff competition, too.
Sure, we played some good competition, you know, and that helps you. And whenever you play good competition, you can't do anything but get better, you know.
Right. So what are you looking for tonight on Hazard's defense? I know you're going to be fighting the Hazard defense all night long. What have you all done to prepare for them?
Well, we haven't done anything new, you know, to prepare for them, because we feel what we're going to do, they're going to have to pretty much play their straight-up defense that they played all year against other people. And if they come in with a new wrinkle, we can adjust. We're hoping that we can adjust, you know.
Is there anybody in particular on this Hazard team that stands out in your mind, or is it exactly that, a team effort?
Well, I think they've got about 5 or 6 real good kids, you know. I'm talking about real good kids. And they play pretty much, you know, as a team. You know, I don't think they have no one certain kid that, you know, that you would really have to key on anything. You just got to watch out for them, because they, like I say, you don't get 11-0 without being a pretty tough team.
They must be able to pull some things out of their sleeves too, I guess.
Well, evidently they have over, you know, over the year.
What about, I know, being involved with the team in general, I'm sure the coach has really got defense in mind as well tonight, not just the offense. You got to give, I guess the defense has got to give the offense enough time to rest up and get that next session going.
Well, that's true. I mean, like I said, we're young. We're a young ball club this year. I mean, and we're in what you call a rebuilding year. But, I mean, we're right now 9-3, you know. And I mean, that's a rebuilding year. A lot of the teams are seniority in it, you know, and don't even have a record like that.
I was getting ready to say that's a real good rebuilding year if you can have a winning year. But folks at home, if you recognize the Joplin name with Butch Joplin, you may recognize Mr. J.I. Joplin, your son. Explain a little bit about him.
Well, J.I., he's a little old bitty guy, you know.
He's a fighter, isn't he?
Well, he's a fighter. He's been around football all his life, you know. I've coached him in little league ball and everything, you know, and he's always been around me, but I've been coaching for quite some time now. And he's always been around it, so, you know, he's got a lot of skills. The only thing about J.I. is he's just little.
Just a little fella.
He's just little, you know.
With a big heart.
Well, he got to live with me. I mean, you know.
That's a prerequisite, huh?
Yeah.
Well, now, he's only a junior, and, of course, he'll be back again next year to play with the Pikeville Panthers, but it seems like he's really stepped in the forefront in this rebuilding process.
Well, he's helped out a lot. Now, we've got some other kids in there that run the ball pretty good, too. John May and Nathan Ellswick and Jason McCoy comes in and spells out. And we got a sophomore, John Hatfield. I think we've got a real good core of backs, you know, but J.I. is somewhat a little bit quicker. You know, like I say, he's just small.
Right. Well, Coach, bottom line, last question, I guess. What's it going to take for Pikeville to win tonight here in tough Hazard country?
Well, it's going to take a total team effort from us, and everybody has got to be mentally and, you know, and physically ready to play this ball game. I mean, they know that Hazard is tough. Like I say, you don't get 11-0 without being tough.
Right.
But I think our kids is going to try and play to the best of their ability.
Okay. Well, thank you very much, Coach, and good luck to you and the Pikeville Panthers tonight. That's Coach Butch Joplin, the assistant coach here at Pikeville. He's the offensive coordinator for the Pikeville Panthers. Good luck to him and the Pikeville Panthers tonight. We'll take a break and be back with some more pregame festivities in just a moment. You're watching high school football on TV5 WPRG.
When life's unfortunate events happen, we sometimes see people at their worst. That's why we make it our goal to give them our best. If you've been involved in an auto accident, have a workers' compensation, Social Security, or SSI claim, you need an attorney with proven results. You need John Earl Hunt.
I'm attorney John Earl Hunt. I believe in the U.S. Constitution, and I support the American flag. I'm a country lawyer. I'd be honored to represent you in your case. I'll treat you right. I'll do the best I can to help you.
More than ever, life is full of change, and sometimes change is good. Same with your cable package. By upgrading to streaming with Gearhart TV, you get a ton of features and content. That's entertainment for everyone, no matter what they watch or how they do it. Change doesn't have to be a challenge either. Streaming with Gearhart TV is easy to use on the devices you already have. Ready for change? Contact Gearhart TV and make the switch to streaming today.
Everyone, we are in Hazard awaiting kickoff of tonight's contest between the 11-0 Hazard Bulldogs and the Pikeville Panthers, who come into tonight's game with a record of 8-3. And there you heard the Hazard Bulldog Band of Gold down there. They've recently won a national band competition. They were playing a little Proud Mary down there.
I'll tell you what, you just really can't say enough about that black and gold band down there. They've won all kinds of competitions this year, and Kevin, I think that they definitely have to be about the best band that we've seen all year long.
We hope to see maybe some halftime entertainment from them, but you hear us fighting over the public address announcer. They're saying some things about tonight's contest and so on and so forth. But you have some pretty interesting information there about the Hazard Bulldogs the past couple of years.
That's right. For the Hazard Bulldogs, the last game that they lost was in the playoffs last year to the Pikeville Panthers. And last year, their record throughout the season was 7-5. Their head coach is Paul Raines, and he's still the head coach this year. And it looks like the Hazard Bulldogs are 11-0 right now, and the Pikeville Panthers coming at 8-3. But one of the things that said in the paper when you were alluding to Rick Bentley's article, the head coach for Pikeville, Bill O'Lara, said that he likes coming in like this. That way that Pikeville can play the role of the spoiler.
Exactly. And that's exactly what the Pikeville Panthers are going to have to do tonight. They're definitely an underdog coming into tonight's contest. As Coach Joplin mentioned a few minutes ago during a pregame interview, he said that the Pikeville Panthers are going through a rebuilding year this year, but any team that can have a rebuilding year with a record of 8-3, they've got something going right. So Pikeville by no means is out of tonight's contest, and it's going to be interesting to see how they handle everything. And I'll tell you, last week's game was pretty chilly.
Pretty chilly.
Kind of getting to the lips right now, but last week's game between the Pikeville Panthers and the Everett's Wildcats was a chilly one. High temperature that night was about 27 degrees, and really took an effect on the folks trying to catch the football out there.
I'd say that it probably did, Kevin. I'll tell you what, I was kind of flipping through one of our programs here, and I found an interesting note here about Paul Raines. When he first came in, his first year was the 1988-89 year for the Hazard Bulldogs. When he took the team over from the last head coach, they had a record of 3-7. When he took over in 1988, they went 8-4. The next year, they went 7-5, and in his third year, 6-4. And then in the 1991-1992, they went 7-5.
All righty, we're waiting right now the pregame prayer, so we'll turn it over right now to the public address announcer.
Our loving Heavenly Father, we are indeed grateful for the beauties of your creation so evident all about us, and for the bountiful blessings you bestow upon each of us every day. Especially tonight, do we pray for the schools of learning represented in this sports contest. Bless the principals and the faculties, the parents, and the student bodies as they strive toward excellence in education and in extracurricular school activities. May every principle of fair play and good sportsmanship be a part of this game tonight. May each young man play to the very best of his ability, through Jesus Christ. Amen.
have the opening prayer and the national anthem from the Band of Gold of Hazard. And we were talking about those folks a few minutes ago, Johnny, about the rich tradition in the Hazard Band.
I'll tell you what, they definitely have an excellent band this year. And we would like to compliment the band director, Pauletta Smith. She's really done a great job with the 1992 Hazard Band of Gold this year, Kevin.
Well, with that in mind, we'd like to thank all of our sponsors for tonight's contest. Ann's Pedals and Lace, Sound City, the folks over at Jerry's Restaurants, East Kentucky Water, Delta Supply, Lane Brothers Ford, Williamson Memorial Hospital, Costain Coal Company, Brooks Pharmacy, and the Citizens Bank. We are awaiting kickoff of tonight's contest between the Hazard Bulldogs and the Pikeville Panthers. We'll take a break and be back with the opening kickoff in just a moment here on TV5 WPRG.
Not everyone gets this excited when they discover the joy of Gearhart TV. But it happens. It's kind of a thrill to see every channel in HD. Go back in time with Replay and Restart TV. Record to the cloud. And watch TV everywhere on any device with no set-top box. Your excitement may vary, but there's a lot to cheer about Gearhart TV. Available now. Visit mygtv.com now to sign up.
Now's your chance for a great deal on smoking fast internet from Gearhart Broadband. Upgrade to the smoldering speed you need, up to 1 gig, and add Plume adaptive Wi-Fi to reach every corner of your home. Experience no-lag gaming, your favorite music, web surfing, HD video streaming, and connect to the latest smart devices. If you're ready for an upgrade, call or click Gearhart Broadband for a great offer today.
Hazard Bulldogs have won the toss, and they have chose to receive the opening kickoff from the Pikeville Panthers here in the Class A Region 4 semifinals here in Hazard. It's just up Kentucky 80 way, just on the outskirts of Hazard, and we are up high on this press box here in Hazard.
I'll tell you what, Kevin, you are right. And another thing that we need to talk about a little bit, there's also some other big games going on tonight. You've got the Belfry contest. Belfry, who are they playing tonight, Kevin?
The Bell County Bobcats down in Southeast Kentucky way.
That's right, Bell County with a record of 11-0. Belfry's going in as the underdog at 10-1, and Prestonsburg is also playing tonight. They're taking on Russell
County, I believe. So we've got some Big Sandy teams that are still left in playoff action, and to say the least, I believe all three teams are deemed as underdogs going into those games, so it's going to be interesting to see the outcomes of all three of those games, the Pikeville Hazard game, the Belfry and Bell County game, and also the Prestonsburg and Russell County game. So hopefully we'll be back next week with more playoff action.
Hopefully we will, Kevin, and it looks like right now we're just about set for all the kickoff action.
Well, as I mentioned, the Hazard Bulldogs, they won the toss, and they have chosen to receive the opening kickoff. And to kick it off for the Pikeville Panthers is number 28, that is Richard Ketchy.
And number 24, Colby Combs.
Pete Combs, number 32, Robert Warren, number 24, Colby Combs. They are all back deep to receive for the Hazard Bulldogs. And we are about ready for this semifinal action here in Class A, Region 4. Kevin Myers along with Johnny Osborne. Sit back, pop a big bowl of popcorn, and enjoy an evening or afternoon of football here on TV5 WPRG. May want to pop the bag for us, too.
We'd appreciate it. Some hot chocolate or coffee would be good, too.
I'm not really sure what the temperature is about right now, but it seems like it's about 20 with a wind chill of about 5 below.
Kevin, I definitely agree with you on top of this press box here at Hazard.
I don't know if you've noticed, but down on the sidelines there, the Hazard Bulldogs have big gas heaters set up down there.
Yes, I did notice that.
So there's the opening kickoff. It's a low kick, taken at about the 19-yard line. He stumbles in the backfield, and he was untouched, and once he crossed the 22, he was down. That is number 32 for the Hazard Bulldogs, Robert Warren. He's a 5'5", 160-pound junior for the Bulldogs.
I'll tell you what, Kevin, it has rained for the last couple of days, so it looks like from the opening kickoff there that the field conditions just might be a little bit on the slippery side in some spots out there tonight.
Now, quarterback-wise for the Hazard Bulldogs, you've got number 7, Pete Combs. He's a 5'9", 205-pound junior. Or actually, that's number 10. John Grigsby out there right now. Waiting for the snap. Handoff right up the middle. I believe may have lost a yard, and the Pikeville Panther defense is really fired up over that play.
I'll tell you what, the Pikeville Panthers, they've come out. It looks like they're a little bit fired up right now. That's exactly what they need right now to be able to contain this Hazard Bulldog team. If they keep hitting them for losses and everything, Kevin, you never know. I would definitely love to see an upset in tonight's game.
Well, the Pikeville Panthers defensively, they do need to set a precedence early in the contest to show the Hazard Bulldogs that they're not going to be able to keep this one here at home easy. Got folks wide left, slant eye in the backfield. In motion is number 7, Pete Combs. There's a snap after a long count. Falling back to pass, rolling around the left side under pressure. He's caught at about the 25-yard line, a gain of a few on a quarterback keeper by John Grigsby. Actually, that was a quarterback keeper, I think, by mistake.
I think it was by mistake. That was number 51 from Pikeville, Chase Goodman, bringing him down on that play, Kevin.
Chase Goodman's been a very strong defensive player for the Pikeville Panthers all year long, and the Hazard Bulldogs have the ball on their own 25-yard line, 3rd down and 9.
Pikeville Panther defense is doing all they can right now to contain them right now, Kevin. 3rd and 9.
Well, let's see what the Bulldogs do. See if they opt to pass on 3rd and 9. Got number 2, Pat Turner, wide right. There's a handoff just around the right end. Handed off to number 24, Colby Combs. And I believe that is well enough for a first down up to about the 36-yard line.
He was brought down once again by number 51, tripped up there by Chase Goodman from Pikeville.
No, they may. It looked like he crossed the 35-yard line, but they've got a spot back there on about the 34 or 33.
Looks like they're going to be bringing out the chain gang now, Kevin.
Well, the scoreboard has 4th and 1, so we'll just have to wait and see what the infamous chain gang does if they give the Bulldogs a first down. Looks like
it looks like they
short.
have it. Well, I guess they don't, Kevin.
Looked like it's just inches short of being a first down.
It's going to bring up a 4th and 1 right now for the Hazard Bulldogs.
And Hazard decides to punt this one away. Good defensive opening on behalf of the Pikeville Panthers.
That's exactly what the Pikeville Panthers need right now.
Nathan Ellswick is back deep for the Pikeville Panthers. Number 24, 5'9", 160-pound senior. There's a snap. It's a high one. And it's a low, short kick off to the left-hand side of the field and rolls out of bounds at about the 35, 36-yard line.
One kick runs out of bounds at the Pikeville 39-yard line. The punt covers 31 yards.
So the Pikeville Panthers, they've got pretty decent field position, opening up on their first offensive drive of the game.
Well, a lot of people are curious right now to see what the arm of J.P. Blair has in store for the Hazard Bulldogs right now.
1st and 10 for the Pikeville Panthers. Ball on the 39. 9:52 left to go, first quarter of play. Wishbone backfield. Nathan Ellswick is wide left. There's a handoff up the middle. And looked like he was swamped, but he actually broke loose. It looked like he may have gained about a yard, if that.
I'll tell you what, Kevin, I'm not really for sure if he even gained a yard that time. He was brought down by number 24 for the Hazard Bulldogs, Colby Combs.
That was May on the carry. John May, number 40. Pikeville in their white and maroon, Hazard in their blue uniforms tonight. You can definitely tell these two teams apart.
For sure. It looks like it's going to bring up a 2nd and 9.
There's a handoff up the middle again. It looks like there's a fumble, and Hazard has recovered on the Pikeville 43-yard line.
I'll tell you what, Kevin, it looked to me that time like J.P. Blair was trying to hand the ball off. It looks like he had a little bit of problems, and one of the players from Hazard just fell on it.
And it kind of surprised me that Pikeville didn't try to go to the air that time, but they've opted to keep it on the ground, and Pikeville with a very expensive turnover early here in the first quarter. 9:10 left to go, first quarter play. Hazard Bulldogs with the ball again. There's a handoff to number 24 just around the right side. That's Colby Combs, and he's brought down at about the 38, 39-yard line.
Gain of 3 yards. Stop by Richard Ketchy.
That should bring up a 2nd down 7 situation for the Bulldogs.
I'll tell you what, that was definitely, Kevin, a very costly turnover for the Pikeville Panthers. Their defense held tough the first time, and it looks like the Pikeville Panthers are going to be put to the test once again early in this contest.
And that's what Coach Joplin was talking about before this game. He said the defense is going to have to, or the offense is going to have to spend enough time out there on the field to let the defense rest a little bit for these Bulldogs. That's number 32 on the carry around the left side up to about the 30-yard line. That is Robert Warren.
Robert Warren on the carry.
Finally knocked out of bounds by the quarterback from Pikeville, number 13, J.P. Blair. I'll tell you what, Kevin, how many yards did he pick up that time? He definitely had a little running room that time.
Looked like he picked up a good 10 or 12 yards on that play, enough for a first down. They're going to spot the ball on the 27, and the Hazard Bulldogs moving it on down. And I believe we have a timeout down on the field. I think they're going to call this one an official timeout. So with that in mind, we'll go ahead and take a timeout and be back with more in just a moment. You're watching high school football here on TV5 WPRG.
Smile, girl. Act like you like each other.
This is our Chicago.
Stop!
We're gonna enjoy every minute of it.
You two coming or what?
Hey, wake up, brother. It is payback time.
It's bigger than the two of us now.
You gotta decide for yourself who you gonna be.
The Bellator has landed.
My family means everything, and I'll do whatever it takes to make sure they're safe in our home. I started with this, a whole home security system with 24/7 monitoring. We control our system from anywhere, and wherever I am, I can see my family's okay.
You'd do anything to protect your family. Start with this, a smart home security system from Gearhart Security. Call or visit gearhartsecurity.com to learn more.
For the Bulldogs on their own 27-yard line, 8:19 left to go, first quarter play, long snap, long count. Bulldogs go to the air, almost intercepted. The intended receiver was number 7, Pete Combs, and Pikeville Panthers had him covered.
I'll tell you what, that was almost an interception that time by number 28 for Pikeville. Richard Ketchy, if he would only been able to hold on to that ball, that was a break that the Pikeville Panthers really needed that time, Kevin.
Well, it wasn't that pretty of a pass to begin with. It looked like the quarterback, John Grigsby, slipped a little bit. Then his intended receiver, Colby Combs, also slipped when he saw the ball coming. So that brings up 2nd and 10 for the Bulldogs. Ball still on the 27-yard line. Long count again. There's a handoff around the right side. Pete Combs.
He pitches it off.
He pitched it back to Colby Combs. And the Bulldogs get some pretty good yardage, enough for another first down. They're going to spot this one on the 16.
I'll tell you what, that was something I don't think that any of the Pikeville Panthers were expecting that time. And if it hadn't been for number 40 for Pikeville, John May, I'll tell you what, he could have possibly gone all the way that time, Kevin.
Could have gone all the way, definitely. And the Pikeville defense, if they were ever going to buckle down, they need to do it now, because Hazard does not need to score this early in the contest.
Looks like they're going to bring the chain gang out once again to measure and see if Hazard has enough for the first down.
I believe they do. It's pretty close. I think they do have it.
And I believe you're right, Kevin.
I'm 2-0 in the calling the first down situation column.
Well, I'm 1-1 anyway. Not too bad. 50%. It's like saying maybe he's right, maybe he's wrong.
Well, despite the cold temperatures, we've got a pretty good crowd on hand tonight. Slim pickings on the Hazard side, but you look over there on Pikeville, and they're all up and down the sidelines. 1st and 10 for the Bulldogs. There's a handoff just around the left end. Number 32, Robert Warren.
Robert Warren on the carry.
Gain of a couple.
I'll tell you what, you never believe who was on the tackle. Once again, Chase Goodman, number 51 from Pikeville. I'll tell you what, he really does an excellent job with that tackle position for the Pikeville Panthers.
If we awarded a player of the game, seems like he would have our first quarter nomination anyway.
Definitely so for the Pikeville Panthers.
Maybe that's something we need to consider next year. Maybe give away some players or Player of the Game awards. I'll have to think about that.
It's always an idea.
7:20 left to go, first quarter. 2nd down and 8. On the option around the right side, Mr. Grigsby, John Grigsby, decides to keep it himself. May have gained a yard, I'm not sure.
Stop by John May.
Looks like it's going to bring up about a 2nd and 8 situation for the Hazard Bulldogs. 3rd and 7.
1 yard.
Yeah, he only gained 1 yard on that play, and the ball's right there on the 13. This is a crucial 3rd down play for both teams, definitely for Pikeville, because chances are Hazard would put it into the end zone if they do get the 1st down right here. Long count. Handed it off around the left end there to Colby Combs, and he didn't get it.
I'll tell you what, he definitely didn't get it. He was brought down by number 23, Stephen Kreitzer from the Pikeville Panthers. Looks like it's going to bring up a 4th down situation for the Hazard Bulldogs.
Looks like the nose of the ball is right there on the 10-yard line.
Kevin, are the Hazard Bulldogs going to be content with a field goal here, or are they going to go for it?
Well, you don't really see too many teams kick a field goal, and I've not seen the Hazard Bulldogs play this year, so I don't know if they've got a good foot on the team or not. But if they've got one, I'm definitely sure that they'll try to go for the 3. But the Hazard Bulldogs do call a timeout. We'll go ahead and keep it right here with 6:08 left to go in the first quarter of play. And the coach of the Hazard Bulldogs out there talking with his team, trying to decide what should go on.
Mr. Paul Raines, head coach of the 11-0 Hazard Bulldogs. And Kevin, correct me if I'm wrong, I believe they're ranked number 1 in the state right now, aren't they?
Yeah, they're number 1 in Class A with a flawless record.
With the flawless records, usually 9 times out of 10 when it comes to number 1 team for years upon years, it seems like it's always been the Pikeville Panthers. But this year, it looks like it's going to be the Hazard Bulldogs.
The Pikeville Panthers lost a heck of a lot of people last year to graduation. And I'm sure the Hazard coaching staff and the Hazard players liked to see that at the beginning of the football season when the Pikeville Panthers started hitting the field and losing a couple of games. It probably dawned on them about then that they've got a chance to win the state this year.
Kevin, I'll tell you what myself, I think Hazard does have an excellent chance of maybe going all the way this year, but first they've got to get by this Pikeville Panther football team.
Well, I think the Bulldogs are going to go for it on 4th and 4. They decided that they were so far down deep into Pikeville territory, if they coughed the ball up, wouldn't be that big of a loss. There's a snap, going back to pass, caught in the backfield. Got a flag, got a bunch of flags.
Everywhere.
Grigsby was looking to pass into the end zone, and he was just bombarded by a host of Pikeville defensive players.
I'll tell you what, number 23, Stephen Kreitzer, he definitely hit the Hazard quarterback for a hard look that time. But Kevin, it makes you wonder, what are the calls going to be down on the field right now? Face mask against Pikeville.
That's a 15-yarder, half the distance to the goal. That'll give them a 1st down.
That is definitely not what the Pikeville Panthers needed at this point in the game, Kevin.
I didn't see that one, but there were 2 flags thrown, so there's no question about the penalty itself.
It looks like the call was made right after the quarterback was sacked, after Stephen Kreitzer and a few of his fellow Pikeville Panthers ran into him.
Well, the refs are down there assessing the penalty. The ball spotted right there on the 17, so that's probably where they're going to mark it off at. Half the distance to the goal line. That should put it on about the 8. Well, that still gives the Bulldogs a 4th down situation. 4th and 3.
4th down, 3 yards to go for Hazard.
Clock down under 6 minutes to go now. 4th and 3, crucial play again for the Hazard Bulldogs and the Pikeville Panthers. Grigsby hands off, and I don't believe he got the 1st down.
Once again, it looked like he was brought down by number 51, Chase Goodman for the Pikeville Panthers. I'll tell you what, He's already in the first quarter here within about the first 6 minutes. He's got at least 3 or 4 different tackles all by himself.
I'm sure Coach Bill Allaire is praising him for his actions tonight. Very good defensive play on behalf of that young man.
Excellent stand by the Pikeville Panthers.
Definitely was. The ball's right there on the 8-yard line. That's where the Pikeville Panthers will take it over and try to march it back down the field. And if Pikeville scores on this trip, they've definitely earned it. They've got a long way to march.
They definitely have a long way to go. It looks like they're going to have it on their own, what is that, Kevin, about the 8 or 9 yard line?
I believe it's the 8-yard line. Wishbone backfield. Blair takes a snap, hands off up the middle. I believe that was Joplin on the carry.
Nathan Ellsworth on the carry.
Oh, that was Ellsworth, as the PA announcer corrects us.
Gain of 5 yards.
Gain of 5. That'll bring up 2nd and 5. Actually, I think they're going to credit him with a 6-yard run. 2nd and 4. Folks left and right for the Panthers. Wishbone backfield. Hand off just around the right end, and he's caught right there, and almost another fumble.
I'll tell you what, Kevin, that time I think a hole was supposed to open up, but the Hazard Bulldogs just closed in all around him and brought him back down around the line of scrimmage.
Well, the Pikeville Panther defense is holding Hazard off early, and so is the Hazard Bulldogs. Got a feeling we may have a low-scoring game.
We have a defensive ball game here tonight, Kevin.
4:29 left to go, first quarter. 0-0 is the score if you just joined us. Hazard Bulldogs and the Pikeville Panthers, semifinals of the Class A Region 4 playoffs. Blair back to pass. He is going deep. And deep he goes, but it slips right through the hands of number 11, Tony Newsom.
I'll tell you what, that time the Pikeville Panthers were taking a gamble. He had his man beat, but he just wasn't able to hold on to the football that time, Kevin. And I think that we can almost contribute that. We can attest to it, the cold weather.
I'm sure his hands were very cold, just like ours. And I tell you, if he had caught that ball, he almost had it right there on the 47. He had 2 defenders to beat, but Newsom is pretty quick. It had been hard to catch him.
Looks like the Pikeville Panthers are going to be hunting the ball now.
Richard Ketchy in to punt this one away. Almost blocked. Whew. Hits at about the 46, and they're going to let it roll. And rolled at about the 44-yard line. In comes the Hazard Bulldog offense.
I'll tell you, Kevin, it's almost been a little bit surprising to me so far that we haven't had a score already in the game.
Yeah, I think most of the so-called experts,
we've heard from so many this week.
Oh, yeah. They're hollering a pretty high-scoring game. But if the first quarter is any indication of the rest of the contest, it may be decided by just a couple of points. 1st and 10 for the Bulldogs. 4:06 left to go, first quarter. Ball on the 44. There's a handoff just around the right end. Maybe a gain of 2. That was Combs on the carry.
Number 51, Chase Goodman with the tackle for the Pikeville Panthers. Looks like it's going to bring up a 2nd and 9 situation for the Hazard Bulldogs.
Pete Combs is wide right. Whoa! Oh, almost intercepted. Grigsby tried to go for Combs over on the right side, and it was just deflected big time by Mr. Lynn Parrish.
I'll tell you what, if Lynn Parrish could have maybe just jumped a little bit or something, I thought that he definitely knocked the ball down. It just kind of, I'm sure that he just wished he could have held on to it.
Well, he had his hands on it, and he kind of slowed down the ball, but just a little bit out of his reach, and he jumped pretty high to get that one, too. Good eyes and good hands on Mr. Parrish. Nice run, got some running room. That is number 7, Pete Combs, and he gets all the way down to the 25.
I'll tell you what, an excellent run that time by Mr. Pete Combs. It was brought down by the guy that was punting just a while ago, number 28, Richard Ketchy. And as the PA announcer just alluded to, there is a flag on the play. It was a 3rd and 9 situation for the Hazard Bulldogs.
Maybe a clipping penalty against Hazard. Have to wait and see. So that'll bring the ball back. Yes, clipping.
3 for 3 for Kevin Myers. The Myers man is on top of the ball game tonight, ladies and gentlemen.
Actually, we're on top of the press box, but I guess that's the same
You know
thing.
what I mean, Kevin. Come on.
3:16 left to go, first quarter. Kevin Myers along with Mr. Johnny Osborne.
Along with Dr. Don on camera.
Can't forget the good doctor. He looks like a bank robber over there with his...
He looks like a bank robber tonight. He's ready to go in and rob Goldbart or something. I'm not for sure.
He's got his ski mask on, trying to keep warm tonight. So the Bulldogs going to march it back 15 yards on that clipping penalty. So the ball's going to be placed right on about the 33-yard line. Just when it looked like Hazard was going to break things loose for a big-time gainer and put some points on the board, the Pikeville Panthers say, nope, we'll have none of that. Third and 24 for the Hazard Bulldogs. There's a fumble, but picked up. It was picked up by number 7, Pete Combs. There's a little bit of miscommunication, I believe, in the backfield that time.
Definitely a busted play that time for the Hazard Bulldogs. And I'll tell you what, they definitely didn't gain any yardage at all that time. The Pikeville Panther defense is just really holding tough right now against the Hazard Bulldogs. And I'll tell you what, they definitely have a good possibility of having excellent field position after they come here.
If the last kickoff or the last punt by Hazard's any indication, Pikeville should get this about the 50-yard line because it was a low kick off to the right. There's the same thing again, taken at the 50 by J.I. Joplin. He gets to about the 29, 28-yard line, and that's all. So as Johnny mentioned, the Pikeville Panthers with real good field position.
Should be the best field position the Pikeville Panthers have had tonight. Hopefully they're going to be able to do something within the last 2 minutes of the first quarter here at Hazard in the playoffs, in the semifinals.
Kind of look for Pikeville to air it out on first down here.
Well, one thing we've definitely seen this year, J.P. Blair does have the arm to do so if he wishes.
Timeout on the field.
Well, we have an official timeout down on the field, so with that in mind, we'll go ahead and take a timeout and be back with more in just a moment. 2:18 left to go in the first quarter of play. 0-0 is our score between the Hazard Bulldogs and the Pikeville Panthers. We'll be back in just a moment here on TV5 WPRG.
When life's unfortunate events happen, we sometimes see people at their worst. That's why we make it our goal to give them our best. If you've been involved in an auto accident, have a workers' compensation, Social Security, or SSI claim, you need an attorney with proven results. You need John Earl Hunt.
I'm attorney John Earl Hunt. I believe in the U.S. Constitution and I support the American flag. I'm a country lawyer. I'd be honored to represent you in your case. I'll treat you right. I'll do the best I can to help you.
J.P. Blair with a keeper around the right side makes it up to about the 45.
He's brought down by number 66, Akers.
They're going to spot the ball right there on the, looks like about the 45 and a half, if you want to get technical.
45 and a half. Let's just get technical tonight, Kevin. It's a playoff game after all.
Yeah, 45 and 3/4 really, once they laid the ball down.
2nd and 7 situation for the Pikeville Panthers.
Nobody left or right, wishbone backfield. Blair goes back to pass, airs it out, and he's got his receiver. That is number 23, Stephen Kreitzer. Good gain up to the 31, 32-yard line.
I'll tell you what, J.P. Blair that time, excellent field vision that time. He had a couple of receivers downfield, and I'll tell you what, absolutely an excellent pass that time by J.P. Blair.
He passed it in traffic, and you got to give Kreitzer credit too. He had good hands on him because he was in traffic as well. It looked like they were maybe going to Shane Van Hoos, but he decided to go short, which turned out to be a good gain for the Pikeville Panthers. 1st and 10 on the 32. Pikeville moving it on down the field. Blair goes back to pass again. Intercepted. Picked off that time by number 32, Robert Warren, and just when it looked like Pikeville had things going, here come the Hazard Bulldogs. They bring it back to the 25, and that's where Hazard will take it over on their own 25.
I'll tell you, Kevin, it looked like the Pikeville Panthers were just starting to get everything rolling their way, and that time J.P. Blair aired that one more time, and he just wasn't able to connect that time, and a big break that time for the Hazard Bulldogs.
Well, that's the part of football. Football's a gamble. Any game's a gamble, and they decided to go to the air that time and just didn't pay off. 55 seconds left to go in the first. Hazard with the ball in their own 25, 1st and 10. Long count. There's a handoff just around the right side to number 24. Colby Combs.
Initial tackle made by number 53, Lynn Parrish, that time from the Pikeville Panthers.
Should bring up about a 2nd and 7 for the Bulldogs as they step back up to the ball. There's a pass incomplete, intended for number 2, Pat Turner.
With 6 seconds remaining in this first quarter of action, Kevin, no score here at Hazard in the playoffs here in the semifinals.
Reading all the newspaper accounts and some television reports and media reports, it seems like Hazard would have had at least 12 points on the scoreboard by now, but Pikeville defensively doing a very good job containing the Hazard Bulldogs. 3rd and 8. There's a pass complete to number 7, Pete Combs.
Brought down once again by number 53, Lynn Parrish for the Pikeville Panthers. Looks like it's going to bring up a 1st and 10 situation for the Hazard Bulldogs. And Kevin, I think that the first quarter has ended now.
Well, that does bring it into the first quarter of play. Our score 0-0 here in the Class A Region 4 semifinals in Hazard. We'll be back with the second quarter of play in just a moment. You're watching high school playoff football action on TV5 WPRG.
Now's your chance for a great deal on smoking fast internet from Gearhart Broadband. Upgrade to the smoldering speed you need, up to 1 gig, and add Plume adaptive Wi-Fi to reach every corner of your home. Experience no-lag gaming, your favorite music, web surfing, HD video streaming, and connect to the latest smart devices. If you're ready for an upgrade, call or click Gearhart Broadband for a great offer today.
Caring for the loved ones of others during their twilight years can be an emotionally challenging task. Don't mistake that challenge as something completely draining. There's a lot of potential for a hospice nursing career to be emotionally rewarding. Hospice nurses seek to help patients live life to its fullest. If you feel this is where your heart can truly help others, email us at info@applhchs.org or call Appalachian Hospice and Home Health Services today.
0-0 the score between the Pikeville Panthers and the Hazard Bulldogs here in playoff action. Kevin Myers along with Johnny Osborne. The Hazard Bulldogs have it 1st and 10 on their own 37-yard line. Back to pass, going deep. It's a wobbly pass. Good coverage that time, but I don't know if they're going to rule that incomplete, I believe.
I'll tell you what, that was excellent pass coverage that time by number 24, Nathan Elgin from the Pikeville Panthers. He was able to do just enough to keep him from catching the ball that time.
The intended receiver was Mr. Pete Combs, and Grigsby's gone to him quite a few times tonight, but the catch-loss ratio is not that good so far.
So far, I think the only one that has connected, well, actually, I believe the quarterbacks have made, about 1 apiece so far?
Yep. On complete passes. 2nd and 10 for the Bulldogs. There's a handoff to number 24, Colby Combs. He makes it up to almost the 50-yard line. We'll go ahead and call it the 50. Of course, we can call it anything we want, but we'll call it the 50.
Okay, we'll just go ahead and call that one the 50-yard line then, Kevin.
Yeah, that is a 45, isn't it?
Kind of appears that way to me. I wasn't going to say anything. It's just the magic of TV. We can say anything.
Well, was that Foreigner that sang Double Vision?
Yes.
11:17 left to go in the second. 3rd and 3 for Hazard. There's a handoff to Combs again. He gets up to about the 47.
It doesn't look like he's going to have enough for the first down this time, Kevin. It looks like the Hazard Bulldogs could possibly be punting away here.
They send the punting team in, and hats off again to the Pikeville defense.
I'll tell you what, the Pikeville Panthers are definitely holding strong right now, Kevin. I'll tell you what, I think they're actually surprising a few people here how well that the Pikeville Panthers are standing up.
Well, we got
low-scoring game. Pikeville will win a low-scoring game.
And Dr. Don says that Pikeville will win in a low-scoring game. Dr. Don has made his prediction for the night.
It's a low-scoring game, Pikeville.
Waiting the snap. There it is. It's kind of low. Nice kick that time. It's going to hit about the 40. Take a good Pikeville roll, or a Hazard roll actually, down to about the 21.
I'll tell you what, that was definitely an excellent kick that time by the Hazard Bulldogs. And I'll tell you what, the Pikeville Panthers are not starting out actually too good this time, Kevin. And I think I might join you and stand up for a minute, maybe get some blood circulating here. It's a little cold here on top of the press box tonight.
The feet are cold. So are the hands. And I tell you, I got a big whiff of that Hazard barbecue they got going on down there.
Barbecue ribs.
Pikeville 1st and 10 on the 21. Handoff right up the middle. Not much on that one.
Handed off to Joplin that time.
Joplin on the carry. Gain of 1 yard.
It's going to bring up 2nd and 9 for the Pikeville Panthers. As J.P. Blair steps back up to the ball. We're in that traditional wishbone. Blair back to pass. He's going fairly deep, and he has number 11 open. That is Tony Newsom, and he's going to go for the touchdown, and Pikeville has drawn mud first.
I'll tell you what, the Pikeville Panthers have absolutely shocked this Hazard Bulldogs team with that play, Kevin. I'll tell you what, I'll agree with you once again and stand up again. That was absolutely an incredible pass that time by J.P. Blair. He got the open man, and he went all the way.
Well, again, the Pikeville Panthers decided to gamble, and this one definitely paid off with 6 points. And Pikeville will go for the 2-point conversion, and they have struck first here in semifinal action at Hazard.
And Dr. Don loves it.
I don't think anybody anticipated that, but it's a welcomed 6 points nonetheless. This will fire up the Hazard Bulldog team as well, I'm sure. Going for the 2, Blair under center, takes it. He's going to go back and pass. He's under a little bit of pressure rolling around the left side. Passes in the end zone.
Intercepted, I believe. Intercepted that time by number 32, Robert Warren. Kevin, he was the one that intercepted J.P. Blair's other pass the time before. Right now there is 9 minutes and 35 seconds left in the second quarter. The Pikeville Panthers are on top 6-0. And we'll be back with more playoff football action right here on WPRG TV5 Sports.
More than ever, life is full of change. And sometimes change is good. Same with your cable package. By upgrading to streaming with Gearhart TV, you get a ton of features and content. That's entertainment for everyone, no matter what they watch or how they do it. Change doesn't have to be a challenge either. Streaming with Gearhart TV is easy to use on the devices you already have. Ready for change? Contact Gearhart TV and make the switch to streaming today.
Here at Hazard, Pikeville has drawn first blood. Pikeville's on top 6-0, and right now the Pikeville Panthers are just about set to kick off to the Hazard Bulldogs. With all the exciting play-by-play action, here's Mr. Kevin Myers.
Thank you very much, Mr. Johnny Osborne.
You're welcome.
I'm sure the folks are surprised that Pikeville has gone out on top 6-0. Hopefully they can hold on to that lead. A low kick. Hit the Hazard Bulldogs right in the face, and I believe Pikeville came up with it on about the 38-yard line, and they are celebrating.
And the Pikeville Panthers have it over there. I'll tell you what, just check them out right there. Check out the Pikeville Panthers celebrating there. They are absolutely ecstatic over there.
Coach Allaire has got his team fired up, and hopefully this is some momentum to where the Pikeville Panthers can put another 6 or possibly 8 on the board.
I'll tell you what, the head coach for the Hazard Bulldogs right now, Paul Reyes, is down on the sidelines right now, and he is just looking like what is going on right now.
He realizes that when Pikeville comes to town, they mean to play football, no matter if it's a rebuilding year or not. Blair goes back, hands off to Nathan Ellswick around the left side. A little bit of running room, shakes a couple of tackles up to about the 32.
I'll tell you what, Kevin, the way things are going right now, the momentum right here in the second quarter is definitely going in the favor of the Pikeville Panthers.
And it's going to be interesting to see if the remainder of the second quarter is going to be an ally or an asset to the Pikeville Panthers, as is halftime. Halftime is certainly a time to regather your forces.
And drink hot chocolate.
Yeah, and I'm sure Hazard's going to do that. There's J.I. Joplin. Nice little run. Couple of yard gainer up to about the 26.
And look, Kevin, is he going to have enough for the first down?
I believe so. They're going to bring out the chains. I do believe.
And I believe they signaled that they do have the first down.
Pretty good, pretty good. It is cold.
You hit that one right. Let's go back to the Bronco and do this game for the Heat.
Well, last week at the Pikeville Everett's game, Mike Billiter and I, of course, did that game and brought a little heater from the house, and it came in handy.
And I wish you'd brought it tonight.
Momentum is definitely going Pikeville Panther way. Let's see if they can keep it going. 1st and 10 on the 26-yard line. Blair takes the snap. He goes back to pass. Under a lot of pressure, had a player in the end zone wide open, and Blair decides to keep it himself. Gets a couple of yards out of it, up to about the 23.
I'll tell you what, J.P. Blair went back that time. He was looking to pass that time. He had a couple of Pikeville Panther receivers open, but just a little too much pressure on the inside. The front line wasn't able to hold up long enough.
Clock is running down. 8:10 left to go in the second quarter. 6-0 is our score if you just joined us. The Pikeville Panthers out on top of the Hazard Bulldogs. 2nd and 6 now. There's Blair with a handoff up the middle to Ellswick, and he muscles his way for a couple of yards up to the 18.
I'll tell you what, the Pikeville Panthers are definitely moving the ball on this drive right now in the second quarter. The Pikeville Panthers pretty much look like they're moving the ball at will right now, Kevin.
Well, Pikeville's got things going for them right now, and as the Hazard Bulldogs call timeout, we'll stay right here, but Pikeville Panthers have everything going for them. On that last play, it was a busted play. J.P. Blair was unable to find his intended receiver under a lot of pressure and actually able to gain a couple of yards. So even when things aren't going Pikeville's way, they pick up a couple of yards.
Yeah, that's right. Right now, when we come back to Pikeville Panthers, we're going to have a 3rd and 1 situation. Bill Allaire, right now, Dr. Don has a shot of him over there talking with his troops on the sidelines. And it makes you wonder if maybe Coach Bill Allaire is going to come out and try to surprise the Hazard Bulldogs once again with a pass, Kevin.
May go to the air, may pull something out of his sleeve. Definitely, Pikeville needs to do something that the Hazard Bulldogs have not seen on film.
That's right. You definitely have to keep a close watch on Coach Bill Allaire over there for the Pikeville Panthers. He's got plenty of tricks up his sleeve.
But we're praising Pikeville, but you cannot overlook the Hazard Bulldogs. They are on their home field tonight. And the milk jugs with pennies in them are out in full force tonight.
Hazard Bulldog fans, that is, Kevin.
What I say, the Pikeville Panthers?
Actually, he didn't say anything.
Didn't say anything. The fans down here with their yellow and blue jugs. You can hear it down there. What?
Never mind, Kevin. Okay. Never mind.
River Ducks.
Kentucky River Ducks.
Oh, okay. Kind of like tree diapers, I guess. 3rd and 1 for the Pikeville Panthers. 7:43 left to go in the second. Crucial 3rd down play for the Pikeville Panthers. Give this one right up the middle. It's going to be close, but I think he got it. I believe that was J.I. Joplin on the carry.
And we'll wait now for the official signal to see whether the Pikeville Panthers got a first down. And it doesn't appear that they have.
Timeout for measurement.
Yeah, they're going to bring the chains out and see. I believe they're just inches short.
Just inches short. He's putting that 3-for-3 record on the line right now, folks.
3-0. 3-0. Inches short.
Ooh, inches short.
4-0.
4-0 for the Myers man this evening.
The K-Man on a roll.
The K-Man's on a roll. Is it a jelly roll? Or?
You got me on that one. Well, let's see what Bill Allaire and the Pikeville Panthers do. I would think they will go ahead and go for it since they've been able to be pretty successful on the ground. Yep, they're going to go for it on 4th and 1. Ball is on the 16-yard line, and Blair keeps it himself. I believe he got enough.
Blair carries, gain of 1 yard and a Pikeville first down.
Michael gets enough for the first down.
It'd be interesting to see what the Hazard Bulldogs fans are thinking right now. Seems like they're kind of kicked back thinking, they'll get things going.
Looks like they're going to have another measurement. Well, maybe they're not. 1st and 10 for the Pikeville Panthers.
Lynn Parrish for the Pikeville Panthers down there trying to get the Panther crowd fired up over there. Clock down to 7 minutes now left to go in the second quarter of play. 1st and 10 for the Panthers, ball on the 15. There's a pitch back to J.I. Joplin around the right side. He is hit and dropped at about the 10.
J.I. Joplin, the ball carrier, gain of 6
And he was hit pretty hard, too.
I'll tell you what, he broke one tackle, and then I'll tell you what, somebody absolutely laid the lick on him. That's one thing you have to say about J.I. Joplin. I have seen him take some massive licks this year, and he just jumps up and shakes them off like they're absolutely nothing, Kevin.
And the hit he just received are the ones that hurts, right there in the thighs.
Especially when it's cold.
Those cold muscles don't react to trauma like that too well. There's Blair, hands off to Ellswick around the left side, and he is nailed at the line of scrimmage, but I believe he may have got a yard off of it.
Mason Ellswick, the ball carrier, gain of 1 yard, tackled by Brian
That'll
Campbell.
bring up 3rd and 3 for the Pikeville Panthers. Clock down to 5:55 in the second quarter. Here's another crucial 3rd down situation for the Pikeville Panthers.
Pikeville Panthers looks like they've got their act together here in the second quarter of action. They're threatening to score once again.
I would say Pikeville will either air it out or run a same play as they did the last time with Joplin running around the right end. But the Pikeville Panthers decided to call a timeout, so we'll decide to call a timeout and be back with more in just a moment. Our score, 0-6. Pikeville on top of Hazard, 5:29 left to go in the second quarter of play. You're watching TV5 WPRG Sports.
When life's unfortunate events happen, we sometimes see people at their worst. That's why we make it our goal to give them our best. If you've been involved in an auto accident, have a workers' compensation, Social Security, or SSI claim, you need an attorney with proven results. You need John Earl Hunt.
I'm attorney John Earl Hunt. I believe in the U.S. Constitution and I support the American flag. I'm a country lawyer. I'd be honored to represent you in your case. I'll treat you right. I'll do the best I can to help you.
Hazard. Pikeville and Hazard on the field. 6-0 our score. Pikeville Panthers out on top on a 3rd and 3 situation. Pikeville with the ball down on the Hazard 8-yard line. There's a handoff to Joplin. I believe he got enough for the first down up to about the 5. It's going to be close.
I believe you're right, Kevin. It does appear to me like he got just enough for the first down that time.
Gain of 2 yards. Tackled by Charlie Patterson.
Looks like it's going to bring up a 4th and 1 situation right now for the Pikeville Panthers, Kevin.
I thought he had enough for the first down. I guess not. The Pikeville going to go for it on 4th down. There's Ellswick up the middle. I don't think he got it.
I'll tell you what, the Hazard Bulldogs defense just held tough that time. It looks like they're going to be taking the ball over on about their own 10-yard line now, Kevin. I'll tell you what, take a look at those fans down there for the Hazard Bulldogs, Kevin. They're really into this game. They're behind their Hazard Bulldogs.
The Hazard Bulldog fans are fired up, aren't they?
Definitely so, Kevin.
Well, that was a good defensive stance on behalf of the Hazard Bulldogs. Pikeville got it all the way down to the 5-yard line. But Hazard able to hold the Pikeville Panthers off. So with 4:40 left to go in the second quarter, let's see what Hazard can do with it. See if they can come back and tie this game up or possibly go ahead going into halftime. There's a handoff right up the middle. No gain.
For no gain.
Appeared that time he was wrapped up quickly by the Pikeville Panther defense.
Loss of a yard that time, 2nd and 11. There's a handoff around the right side to number 24, Colby Combs. Gain of about 2 or 3, I believe.
It was brought down by number 13, the quarterback from Pikeville, J.P. Blair. Just an all-around player tonight, isn't he, Kevin?
Both sides of the ball.
Looks like he's going to bring up a 3rd and 7 situation for the Hazard Bulldogs already, Kevin.
See what the Hazard Bulldogs opt to do on 3rd down. If Hazard is forced to punt this one away, Pikeville will still have good field position after the punt. There's a handoff again to number 24, Colby Combs. Looks like, well, Pikeville indicates that they came up with it, but I don't think so.
Looks like a player from Hazard recovered the ball.
Recovered by Hazard. 4th down.
So that'll bring up 4th down. Looks like the ball's on about the 7-yard line. And hats off again to the Pikeville defense.
Almost a disastrous play that time for the Hazard Bulldogs.
Nonetheless, Pikeville will have good field position. J.I. Joplin and Nathan Ellswick back deep for Pikeville. The ball hits at about the 34, and it's going to take a Hazard roll at about the 48. Or no, actually, that's about the 43.
43.
That's over 35 yards.
Looks like the Pikeville Panthers are going to be taking back over with only 2 minutes and 52 seconds left in the second quarter. And they're on top of Hazard 6-0 right now. And Dr. Don says the Pikeville Panthers are going to win.
Well, I'm just looking forward to halftime to get down in the press box, warm up a little bit, go get a cup of hot chocolate, and maybe some of that good old barbecue. Blair goes back to pass. He's under some pressure in the backfield. He's got a little bit of running room down to 40, knocked out of bounds at about the 36. And Blair almost took the fence out over here on the sidelines.
I'll tell you what, J.P. Blair went back to pass that time. I couldn't find the open receiver. He had a lot of coverage on him that time, a lot of defenders coming after him, and he was able to pick up Kevin before he started off about 10 yards, but it just wasn't from the line of scrimmage.
Pretty good gainer. 2nd down and 3. Spot the ball right there on the 36. As the referee's having a hard time getting the ball to lay still. Blair on the option, gives to J.I. Joplin around the right side, breaks a couple of tackles and runs out of bounds at about the 25.
Well, at least, Kevin, he did pick up enough for the first down, and I'll tell you what, if he hadn't been forced out of bounds that time, J.I. Joplin had an excellent chance of going all the way that time for the Pikeville Panthers.
Hazard just can't seem to wrap him up.
I think possibly the thing that's throwing Hazard off is they never know what to expect from the Pikeville Panthers right now. Coach Bill O'Lara is doing an excellent job of just keeping the Hazard defense playing a guessing game right now.
That's definitely what they've done so far, and they're playing the guessing game now more than ever. Now that Pikeville is out on top, Joplin bobbles the ball on a handoff. Oh, got a fumble. Luckily, Pikeville comes back up with it, I believe, but Joplin was flipped, and in the process of flipping, he lost the ball.
Once again, like we alluded to earlier, Kevin, J.I. Joplin, he can certainly take some hits back there. It's also, like I said, he jumps right back up, and he's still in the lineup.
Well, the Pikeville Panthers call a timeout, so, we'll go ahead and take a timeout with 2:09 left to go in the second quarter of play. The Panthers out on top, 6-0. You're watching TV5 WPRG Sports.
Smile, girl. Act like you like each other.
This is our Chicago.
Stop!
We're gonna enjoy every minute of it.
You two, coming or what?
Hey, wake up, brother. It is payback time.
It's bigger than the two of us now.
You gotta decide for yourself who you gonna be.
The Bellator cage has landed.
My family means everything, and I'll do whatever it takes to make sure they're safe in our home. I started with this, a whole home security system with 24/7 monitoring. We control our system from anywhere, and wherever I am, I can see my family's okay.
You'd do anything to protect your family. Start with this, a smart home security system from Gearhart Security. Call or visit gearhartsecurity.com to learn more.
Panthers in 10 situation, coming back up on the ball after a timeout. 2:09 left to go in the second quarter. The Panthers out on top, 6-0 and threatening to score again. Blair going to go back and pass this time. He goes deep. Oh, right through the hands of number 14 for the Pikeville Panthers. That is Shane Van Hoos. And that's the second pass that has gone right through his hands tonight, Johnny.
I'll tell you what, it's definitely cold out there. Maybe they're having just a few problems, but that time it was a good pass by J.P. Blair. That time Shane Van Hoos just wasn't able to get his hands on it that time.
It was just a little bit high, but by the time Van Hoos jumped, it hit him right in the numbers, right through his hands. .202 left to go now, second quarter of play. Blair going to go back and pass again on 3rd and 10. They get it up to the 15, all the way down to the 10. And that was, not really sure who that was. Couldn't see a number down there.
Looked like number 27.
This is Jason McCoy that time.
Jason McCoy of Pikeville. I'll tell you what, that time the Hazard Bulldogs were blitzing, and J.P. Blair had just enough time to get it off, and the Pikeville Panthers have a first down. 1st and 10.
I think Blair wanted to go long that time, but being forced into a short pass paid off that time. 1st and 10, Blair back to pass, goes into the end zone, touchdown!
Caught by number 11, Tony Newsom for the Pikeville Panthers.
That's his second touchdown on the evening, and Pikeville goes out on top 12-0 here in the first half.
I'll tell you what, over on the sidelines, just check out all those Pikeville Panthers over there. I'll tell you what, Hazard just doesn't know what to think about these Pikeville Panthers coming in here right now, Kevin. I think that they're absolutely in a state of shock.
Well, it is definitely quiet over here on the Hazard side, and Pikeville going with some very good momentum, much needed momentum into halftime. And by golly, we may be back next week.
It's looking that way, Kevin.
Pikeville going for the two-point conversion. Blair pitches over to Nathan Ellswick. He goes around the left side. Looks like he might have got in there, but just short, hit it about the 1-yard line. Pikeville fails to convert on the two-point conversion. But nonetheless, our score is 12-0. The Pikeville Panthers out on top of the Hazard Bulldogs here in the semifinals of the Class A Region 4 playoffs. We'll take a break and be back with the remainder of the second quarter play in just a moment here on TV5 WPRG.
When life's unfortunate events happen, we sometimes see people at their worst. That's why we make it our goal to give them our best. If you've been involved in an auto accident, have a workers' compensation, Social Security, or SSI claim, you need an attorney with proven results. You need John Earl Hunt.
I'm attorney John Earl Hunt. I believe in the U.S. Constitution and I support the American flag. I'm a country lawyer. I'd be honored to represent you in your case. I'll treat you right. I'll do the best I can to help you.
More than ever, life is full of change, and sometimes change is good. Same with your cable package. By upgrading to streaming with Gearhart TV, you get a ton of features and content. That's entertainment for everyone, no matter what they watch or how they do it. Change doesn't have to be a challenge either. Streaming with Gearhart TV is easy to use on the devices you already have. Ready for change? Contact Gearhart TV and make the switch to streaming today.
On top right now, the Hazard Bulldogs by a score of 12-0. There's only 1 minute and 37 seconds left here in the second quarter, and the Pikeville Panthers are now just getting ready to set off with the kickoff to the Hazard Bulldogs, Kevin.
I'll tell you, it kind of surprises me. I'm glad to see the Pikeville Panthers out on top, but it's kind of surprising the margin of the score.
It is quite surprising, I believe, for a lot of people, and especially the people over here in Hazard right now.
Well, I'm sure the folks over on the Pikeville side didn't expect this either. Despite the score, we're just in the second quarter of play, meaning there are 2 other quarters to go. As Hazard gets a pretty good gainer. Pete Combs that time took it on about the 26-yard line, gets it all the way up to the 40.
Looks like the Hazard Bulldogs are going to be taking over here in the second quarter with only 1 minute 31 remaining. See if they can possibly score against the Pikeville Panthers, but we have to see this much about the Pikeville defense. It has definitely been holding strong so far, hasn't it, Kevin?
Well, the Pikeville defense held on some crucial third down plays to make the Hazard Bulldogs punt it away, and the defensive side of Pikeville definitely need to be recognized tonight. Hazard decides to air it out. Oh, right through the hands, bobbled there by Pete Combs.
Just wasn't able to get the handle on it that time. He bobbled it a little bit, Kevin. It looked like he was going to come out with a diving catch, but he couldn't do it that time.
I believe that could have been a situation where Nathan Ellswick just looked him in the face and said, "You better not catch it.
Don't catch it.
I'm here to hit you.
Don't catch it."
Might have scared him out of that one. Ball on the 39.
I'm quite sure that he was aware of his presence there.
Clock down to 1 minute 14 now, left to go in the second quarter. Hazard will probably air it out. There's plenty of time left to put 6 more on the board. Oh, he's under pressure, caught in the backfield. It was an option play. They handed it back to Pete Combs. But Pikeville read that one all the way, and they're going to spot that one back on the 29. Loss of 10 or 12 on that play.
I'll tell you what, that was number 23, Stephen Kreitzer, and number 40 from Pikeville, John May, coming up with a big loss that time, and I believe the PA announcer said that the Hazard Bulldogs lost 10 yards on that play, Kevin.
Well, I tell you, look at this Hazard Bulldog team, and with a record of 11-0, they're not playing like an 11-0 team. I'm not really sure what the competition is like over here in this area, but Hazard is not playing up to the expectations of many tonight. There's a handoff up the middle. Number 32 on the carry that time, Robert Warren.
Brought down by number 51 for Pikeville, Chase Goodman.
Picked up about 6 yards on that play.
Only 20 seconds remaining here in the second quarter. A cold second quarter, that is.
Very chilly. That second half is going to be even worse. But the Pikeville Panthers call a timeout. We'll go ahead and stay right here. I want to remind you that there are some other games going on around the area. Belfry is at Bell County.
Belfry is at Bell County, and I believe we heard the PA announcer a while ago he said that Cumberland right now was leading over Fleming Neon, if I believe correctly. The score was 21-6.
Right. So that's going to be an interesting game as well. Also, was it Prestonsburg is at Russell County.
Prestonsburg is at Russell County. I'll tell you what, and if anything,
At Prestonsburg.
it's at Prestonsburg.
Oh, is it? Oh.
It's at Prestonsburg. Dr. Don had to lean over and tap us on the shoulder and tell us that's being played at Prestonsburg.
As Johnny Carson says, I did not know that.
I did not know that.
So Hazard is going to be forced to punt this one away. They're not going to score in the second quarter. But Pikeville definitely has a chance to put another 6 or 8 on the board if they're able to return this punt. Almost blocked. They're going to let this one roll dead. It's going to roll down to about the 20. Going to roll dead at the 19. That'll stop the clock with 10 seconds left to go.
The punt rolls dead inside the Pikeville 20-yard line at the 19. Punt covers 45 yards.
Well, the Hazard band of gold is over here on the left side of the press box, but I'm not sure if they're going to be doing any halftime festivities. But if they do, we'll bring them to you.
That's the end of the first half. Your score, Pikeville.
Well, the Pikeville Panthers go ahead and let the clock run out. And that brings an end to the second quarter of play. The Pikeville Panthers with a 12-0 lead over the Hazard Bulldogs here in the Class A Region 4 semifinals. We'll be back with some halftime festivities and the remainder of this contest from Hazard in just a moment. You're watching high school football on TV5 WPRG Sports.
Smile, girl. Act like you like each other.
This is our Chicago.
Stop!
We're gonna enjoy every minute of it.
You two coming or what?
Hey, wake up, brother. It is payback time.
It's bigger than the two of us now.
You gotta decide for yourself who you gonna be.
The Bellator K has landed.
My family means everything, and I'll do whatever it takes to make sure they're safe in our home. I started with this, a whole home security system with 24/7 monitoring. We control our system from anywhere, and wherever I am, I can see my family's okay.
You'd do anything to protect your family. Start with this, a smart home security system from Gearhart Security. Call or visit gearhartsecurity.com to learn more.
When life's unfortunate events happen, we sometimes see people at their worst. That's why we make it our goal to give them our best. If you've been involved in an auto accident, have a workers' compensation, Social Security, or SSI claim, you need an attorney with proven results. You need John Earl Hunt.
I'm Attorney John Earl Hunt. I believe in the U.S. Constitution and I support the American flag. I'm a country lawyer. I'd be honored to represent you in your case. I'll treat you right. I'll do the best I can to help you.
Not everyone gets this excited when they discover the joy of Gearhart TV. But it happens. It's kind of a thrill to see every channel in HD. Go back in time with Replay and Restart TV. Record to the cloud. And watch TV everywhere on any device with no set-top box. Your excitement may vary, but there's a lot to cheer about Gearhart TV. Available now. Visit mygtv.com now to sign up.
Welcome back, everyone. The third quarter of play is just underway. Our score 12-0. The Pikeville Panthers out on top of the Hazard Bulldogs. Due to some technical difficulties, we missed the first couple of plays. The Hazard Bulldogs have it, and Johnny, it looks like they're down on about the 38-yard line.
First and 10 situation right now for the Hazard Bulldogs, starting things off from here in the third quarter, Kevin.
All righty, there's a handoff just around the right side. That was to number 32, Robert Warren.
Looks like he made a pickup of maybe about 2 or 3 yards on that play. Looks like it's going to bring up possibly a 2nd and 7 situation, Kevin.
And I tell you, whatever the coach said during halftime festivities must have paid off, because Hazard's coming out with a fire under their britches here in the second half.
I'll tell you what, Kevin, it's been almost totally unbelievable so far the way things have started out here in the second half for Hazard. Hazard has come out and they've just absolutely been dominating Pikeville throughout this first drive in the second half.
2nd and 4. Long count again. There's a handoff to number 24, Colby Combs. And we've got flags down, and it looks like it's going to be against the Pikeville Panthers.
Looks like it possibly could be a face mask that time, Kevin. It looks like I saw a face mask, but you never know exactly what the referee caught. He might have caught something different, or you just never know. But things are definitely not going too good right now for the Pikeville Panthers.
Well, if it is indeed a face mask penalty, this will be the 2nd face mask penalty in this contest against the Pikeville Panthers.
And I'll tell you what, that face mask penalty, if it's against Pikeville, they really can't afford those 15-yarders right now.
If it is a face mask, that'll be a 15-yard penalty, and that'll take the Hazard Bulldogs all the way down inside the 15. I believe they're going to spot the ball at about the 13.
Looks that way. A very costly penalty at that time for the Pikeville Panthers, and I believe the PA announcer just confirmed everything. It was a face mask violation against the Pikeville Panthers.
Well, the Hazard Bulldogs are knocking on Pikeville's door, and it looks like on their opening drive here in the second half, they're going to go ahead and put 6 points on the board. 1st and 10, ball on the 13. There's a handoff again around the right side to Robert Warren. He may have got 1 yard at the most.
Brought down that time with number 51 for Pikeville, Chase Goodman. One of the problems that Pikeville's having right now is Hazard just taking the ball straight up the middle, and Pikeville's just having a lot of problems right now getting a hold of the player and actually being able to pull him down physically.
And again, that may be the cold weather that plays into that. During halftime, the body tends to cool off again, and I'm sure Pikeville's just now starting to get warmed up, and that may have some to do with how they're playing here in the second half. Breaking through the line, in for the touchdown is number 24, Colby Combs, as the Hazard Bulldogs on their first possession in the second half put 6 points up on the board. And this is something the Pikeville fans and the coaching staff does not want to see.
I'll tell you what, Kevin, you're right. The Pikeville Panthers are just sitting over there in silence right now. I'll tell you what, this Hazard crowd here, they're absolutely going wild. They're still behind their Hazard Bulldogs. They're behind right now by a score of 12-6. And I'll tell you what, the way the Hazard Bulldogs have come out and fired up, this could be an entirely different ball game here in the second half.
Well, it's going to be interesting to see. We mentioned that there in the second quarter after Pikeville scored again. You can't rule the Hazard Bulldogs out, and they've proved that on this first possession of the second half. They're going to go for the extra point. The kick is up, and it's good. Our score, 12-7 now. The Pikeville Panthers out on top of the Hazard Bulldogs. We'll take a break and be back with more in just a moment here on TV5 WPRG Sports.
More than ever, life is full of change, and sometimes change is good. Same with your cable package. By upgrading to streaming with Gearhart TV, you get a ton of features and content. That's entertainment for everyone, no matter what they watch or how they do it. Change doesn't have to be a challenge either. Streaming with Gearhart TV is easy to use on the devices you already have. Ready for change? Contact Gearhart TV and make the switch to streaming today.
Here at Hazard, it's the playoffs high school football. It's the Hazard Bulldogs taking on the Pikeville Panthers. There is right now just 9 minutes and 36 seconds left here in the third quarter. The Pikeville Panthers on top right now, 12-7 over the Hazard Bulldogs, Kevin.
And it looked for a minute there like the Hazard Bulldogs were going to do an onside kick again. There's a low kick, taken at about the 30, or actually the 25-yard line. Pikeville is stopped and dropped on about the 34.
For Pikeville, that was number 40, John May, with the carry.
Well, if you just joined us, we're in the third quarter of play. 9:30 left to go in the third quarter. 12-7 is the score. The Pikeville Panthers out on top of the Hazard Bulldogs here in the Class A Region 4 semifinals. And this game is being played in Hazard. Hazard came out to score their first touchdown in the opening possession of the third quarter. So Pikeville comes up on the ball, 1st and 10. Nathan Ellswick is wide right. There's a handoff right up the middle. A short gainer up to about the 35.
I'll tell you what, the Pikeville Panthers seem like they're pretty content right now to running the ball on the ground, but you always have to watch with J.P. Blair. I'm quite sure before this third quarter's out, he's going to start airing that ball out quite a bit, Kevin.
We're going to have to see what the game plan is of Pikeville. Not sure if they've changed anything or not, but whatever they did there in the first half certainly paid off for them. Blair hands off around the left side to Ellswick. There's a flag down as Ellswick crosses the 40 up to about the 43.
Looks like he did get enough for the first down that time, but there is a penalty flag down on the field, Kevin.
Could be another clipping penalty or a holding penalty. My guess would be it would be a holding penalty.
And it's against Pikeville.
Holding against Pikeville.
Holding against Pikeville. I didn't see that one, but I guess the official down there did.
And there you see the little yellow hanky down there on about the 36-yard line.
Things are just not going right in the second half for the Pikeville Panthers right now. It seems like the first half really kind of belonged to the Pikeville Panthers, but right now the Hazard Bulldogs are starting to really come on strong in the second half.
Well, that will be a 10-yard penalty for the Pikeville Panthers. Going to bring up a 2nd down and 16 situation for Pikeville as J.P. Blair comes back up on the ball. Nobody left or right. Blair goes back to pass. He has his receiver over on the left-hand side of the field. He gets it to the 40. Now he's at the 50, and it looks like he's going to go all the way. I'm not really sure who that is. Can't see a number from here. That is number 28, Stephen Kreitzer. No, Richard Ketchie. Richard Ketchie is number 28.
I'll tell you what, if I remember Richard Ketchie, he's the one that's been doing all the punting and all the kickoffs for the Pikeville Panthers. Once again, the Hazard Bulldogs have absolutely been stunned. I'll tell you what, all 3 times that the Pikeville Panthers have scored, what have they done, Kevin? They've gone to the air every time.
And I'm sure the Hazard fans over here and the team as well thought that they were getting their momentum back here in the third quarter of play. But Pikeville just stepped right in and spoiled things for them.
I'll tell you what, the Pikeville Panthers have definitely come into Hazard tonight, and it's like we said in the beginning. When it comes to this time of year, you just take your record and you just throw them right out, Kevin. Right now is what it's all about, and they're out there on the field.
Pikeville going for the 2-point conversion. Blair drops back to pass. He's going to go for Van Hoos in the end zone. He bobbles it around but loses it. That was number 11, Tony Newsom, the intended receiver that time. But the Pikeville Panthers decline on getting the extra 2 points. Nonetheless, our score is 18-7. The Pikeville Panthers on top of the Hazard Bulldogs. We'll take a break and be back with more in just a moment here on TV5 WPRG.
When life's unfortunate events happen, we sometimes see people at their worst. That's why we make it our goal to give them our best. If you've been involved in an auto accident, have a workers' compensation, Social Security, or SSI claim, you need an attorney with proven results. You need John Earl Hunt.
I'm attorney John Earl Hunt. I believe in the U.S. Constitution, and I support the American flag. I'm a country lawyer. I'd be honored to represent you in your case. I'll treat you right. I'll do the best I can to help you.
Smile, girl. Act like you like each other.
This is our Chicago.
Stop!
We're gonna enjoy every minute of it.
You two, coming or what?
Hey, wake up, brother. It is payback time.
Who's bigger than the 2 of us now?
You gotta decide for yourself who you gonna be.
The Bellator cage has landed.
Put 6 more on the board, but Pikeville kicking off to Hazard as Hazard will take it over on about the 48-yard line. 8:08 left to go in the third quarter of play. And to many folks' disarray, I guess, Pikeville has a pretty good lead right now.
I'll tell you what, I don't think that anybody would have believed you if you told them in the third quarter that Pikeville would be leading Hazard, the top-rated team in the state right now, by a score of 18-7. And right now, it looks like the Hazard Bulldogs are going to be taking over with pretty good field position.
Well, this kind of gives you some indication of how the polls are, because Hazard was at number 1 and Pikeville had dropped out of the top 10 as of last week. So I believe we got an offsides penalty on Hazard.
I believe you're right. It does look like it's against Hazard. It looked like all the officials on that side just kind of like threw them all at once.
Hazard penalized 5 yards, illegal procedure.
I'll tell you what, Kevin, this Pikeville Panther team, I'll tell you what, they have definitely brought a good crowd with them tonight. You can see all the people over there on the sidelines. I don't think that there's many people over in Pikeville that didn't make the trip over to Hazard tonight.
Yeah, it looks like the other side of that field is pretty much packed. And tell you the truth, it seems like there's been a lot more people show up after the game started. Seems like there's a lot more over there in the second half than there was in the first half. Nonetheless, 1st and 10 for Hazard as they pitch off to the right side to number 32. That is Robert Warren. He doesn't get anything on the play that time.
He turned the corner that time, Kevin, but he just wasn't able to gain any yardage that time. I'll tell you what, that was excellent defense that time by the Pikeville Panthers.
Lynn Parrish is credited with the stop that time. And when you talk about this score, you think about the offense. But I tell you, Pikeville's defense has really buckled down here in tonight's game, and you got to give them just as much credit with the points that are on the board so far in the game.
That's right, Kevin. I'll tell you what, the Pikeville defense has definitely been holding tough, and they should definitely attribute the defense if they do win this game. It's been a very, very, very big part.
There's a run right up the middle. Gets it down to about the 45. A little short pass run right up the middle. Just about 4 or 5 yards short of first down.
At the end of the 3rd quarter, Cumberland 21, Fleming Neon 12.
Third down situation for the Bulldogs. There's the option as number 7, Pete Combs, takes it for a couple of yards up to about the 37, 38-yard lines, enough for a first down for the Bulldogs.
I'll tell you what, that was a very much-needed first down for the Hazard Bulldogs that time. And I'll tell you what, I still can't get over the fact that the Pikeville Panthers are leading right now with the score 18-7. You almost have to think it's kind of getting late in the 3rd quarter, just a little over 6 minutes left, and maybe Hazard's going to start airing the ball out just a little bit more.
Yeah, I think they're going to play a little riskier game here in the last part of the 3rd quarter and into the 4th quarter, because they need to get some stuff going, need to throw Pikeville off if they want to pull off a win tonight. There's a handoff to Newsom up to about the 32-yard line. That's Robert Warren on the carry.
Tackled by Tony Newsom. Gain of 5.
Well, we certainly apologize. We've had some technical difficulties here in the second half, and we're doing the game via a handheld microphone, and it's kind of hard to pass this thing back and forth, especially with it being as cold as it is.
It's definitely quite cold this evening. I think that a little bit of our brains are froze up now anyway.
Brain is first, the lips are next.
Yeah.
We won't be able to talk by the end of the game, I guess. Hazard on a 2nd and 5, tries to take it right up the middle, but the Pikeville defense is there. They might have gained 1 yard on that play.
I'll tell you what, Kevin, the action here in the second half has come out really fast-paced. We've had 2 scores right off the bat, boom, boom. And right now, the Hazard Bulldogs, it looks like they're going to have a 2nd and 5 situation, and they're approaching into the Pikeville Panthers territory.
As many tricks are going to be pulled out by, I believe, both teams here in the second half. That could run the score up just a little bit.
It definitely could, Kevin. It definitely could.
3rd and 3 now for the Bulldogs. Crucial 3rd down play for Hazard. There's that traditional long count. Grigsby goes back to pass, and his intended receiver was Pat Turner, just simply overthrew him.
He overthrew him a little bit, but it looked to me like that time, Kevin, that one of the Pikeville Panthers might have got a hand on it and batted it down as it was going across there.
Well, the Pikeville defense has definitely hung in there tonight, coming up with all kinds of crucial plays, and the Hazard Bulldogs, I believe, are going to call a timeout and try to decide what they want to do. It'll be 4th and 3 after the timeout, but we'll go ahead and keep it right here. We'd like to thank our sponsors for tonight's contest. We'd like to say hi and thanks to the folks at Ann's Petals and Lace, Sound City, Jerry's Restaurant, East Kentucky Water, Delta Supply, Lane Brothers Ford, Williamson Memorial Hospital, the folks over at Costain Coal Company, Brooks Pharmacy, and the Citizens Bank of Pikeville. Thanks to all those folks for bringing you tonight's contest. And if you run into anybody at any of those businesses, be sure and tell them that you saw their ads and you appreciate them for sponsoring high school football here on TV5.
I'll tell you what, that's right. There's nothing quite like high school football action here on. In the playoffs, you threw all the records right out the door, Kevin. And right now the Pikeville Panthers are showing that they can come in as an underdog and pull the upset here tonight.
And I tell you, with this being playoff time, people can get copies of these games, and Dr. Don, the general manager, I guess all they need to do to get a copy of the game is call the TV station.
Absolutely, Kevin. 478-4200. That's the number. You call Jennifer. She'll make that VCR tape, and you can take it and put it in your home VCR, play it as many times as you want to. This game playing tonight, Friday night here. We'll have a replay Sunday. Coming up Sunday night, 7 o'clock. This game will be re-aired again on WBRG TV5 Sports.
Down, or actually fourth down play for the Hazard Bulldogs, and it looks like they're going to go ahead and go for it with the ball right there on the 32-yard line. A snap. Left side, there's a stutter step in the backfield, caught and dropped across the 37-yard line. And there again is the Pikeville defense.
I'll tell you what, number 73, Willie Bartley, come up with a big defensive play that time for the Pikeville Panthers, taking them back. I'll tell you what, that was a fourth down situation. The Pikeville Panthers have come out just as fired up as Hazard has in this second half.
Well, the Pikeville Panthers will take it over down there on the 36-yard line as Johnny and I stand up again to try to get some blood circulating and try to keep warm. I tell you, it is very cold. I'm not sure what the temperature is, but up here on the press box, there's a little bit of wind blowing, and that wind does get kind of chilly. J.P. Blair bobbles the snap and fumbles the ball, but does pounce back on it on about the 33.
Yeah, it looks like that they might have lost maybe about 2 or 3 yards that time. J.P. Blair just couldn't quite get a handle on it, and I think that we can just say that was because of the cold, Kevin, and we can definitely attest to that this evening.
Well, I tell you, it does mean a lot to be able to communicate with the center if you're a quarterback, and when your hands are numb, you can't really feel what's going on. Could be in a case of miscommunication as Blair goes back to pass under pressure. He's caught in the backfield, and here comes the Hazard defense.
I'll tell you what, he was absolutely nailed from behind that time. J.P. Blair really took a lick. He's back up on his feet, but the Hazard Bulldogs are showing just as tough as Panthers right now.
That'll bring Pikeville back to the 30, bring up a 3rd down and 16 to go for a 1st down.
I'll tell you what, the Pikeville Panthers it's kind of looking rough for them right now, but I'm quite sure that J.P. Blair is going to try once again to see if he can air it out and get the Pikeville Panthers a 1st down.
That's what Pikeville needs in the worst way right now. 3rd and 16, 3:14 left to go in the 3rd quarter. 18-7 is the score. Blair goes back to pass. He's under big-time pressure. Does a little ditty pass out to J.I. Joplin, and there's a flag on the play. I believe this could be a clipping penalty. I'm not sure against who. I would say a clipping penalty against Hazard.
A clipping penalty against Hazard. Pikeville really needs a break right now. J.I. Joplin. It kind of looked like J.P. Blair. He had a lot of pressure on him. He had to dish the ball off to J.I. Joplin, and Joplin just had absolutely no running room that time.
But where the flag was thrown, that should either be a clipping or a holding penalty. Could go either way. We'll have to see. I didn't really see a call. Well, whatever it was, the penalty was declined. 4th and 21 now. Ketchy is back deep to punt this one away for the Pikeville Panthers. It's a short kick just off to the left-hand side of the field. Takes a hop and a skip. It hit about the 45-yard line and took a Hazard bounce back to about the 43.
I'll tell you what, this Hazard Bulldog team, they're really starting to get on top of the game now. The Pikeville Panthers, it looks like they have a little bit to worry about now here at Hazard.
I was trying to see how long the cord is here. Think about taking it down to the press box. Call calling the game from down there.
Careful, we just might, Don.
2:42 now left to go in the third quarter. 18-7, Hazard with the ball on the Pikeville 44. Waiting for the snap. Grigsby goes back to pass, and he's going to go deep. And overthrows his intended receiver. That is number 7, Pete Combs.
It looks like the Hazard's going to come out kind of running and gunning right now. They come out the first play of the drive. They're going to start out with a pass. The Hazard Bulldogs know they're playing catch-up now because there's only 2 minutes and 27 seconds left here in the third quarter. Pikeville's had 18-7, and they need to get those points on the board now.
Well, I'm sure the Pikeville coaching staff does not mind to see Hazard airing it out because they've not been successful in the air tonight. And actually going to the air like that, it kills a little clock time.
It's quite true. If I remember correctly, I believe the Hazard Bulldogs have only completed 2 passes tonight, Kevin.
2nd and 10. Grigsby goes back to pass again. Under a lot of pressure, dropped in the backfield on about the 49, 48-yard line. And here comes the Pikeville defense.
That was number 53 for Pikeville, Lynn Parrish. He just broke through the line, got the quarterback for a loss. A big loss that time. A big play made by Lynn Parrish of Pikeville. It looks like it's going to bring up a 3rd down and 18 for the Hazard Bulldogs.
When you look at that Pikeville defense, there's not been really one player that's stood out tonight. Lynn Parrish has been good. J.P. Blair's been good.
Chase Goodman has also played well. John May.
So it's been a team effort defensively on behalf of Pikeville. The Hazard Bulldogs call a timeout, so we'll go ahead and take a timeout. Our score is 18-7. Pikeville on top of Hazard. 1:54 left to go in the third quarter. We'll be back in just a moment here on TV5 WPRG. To go in the third quarter of play. Pikeville still has a lead, 18-7 over Hazard, but Hazard has the ball, and they go deep. And Grigsby overthrows his intended receiver, Pat Turner. That'll bring up a 4th and long for the Hazard Bulldogs.
I'll tell you what, things are definitely not going right for Hazard on this drive. The Pikeville Panthers defense starting to hold tough once again. And I'll tell you what, if things keep up like they had the first 3 quarters, the Pikeville Panthers are going to come out with a big upset tonight.
This would be considered a very big upset if the Pikeville Panthers stick with their form and win tonight. But there's a keeper by number 24, and he's going to go for a touchdown. That is a keeper by Colby Combs, and that was a fake punt. And there you go with the tradition of Hazard pulling things out, those little tricks to win the game.
I'll tell you what, Kevin, we definitely didn't see that one coming. I don't think anybody on Pikeville's side. It looked like he was going to punt. Next thing you know, he's just wide open running around the side. And just take a look at all these Hazard fans. They've got their milk jugs back out filled with the coins, and they are just absolutely loving it. Brings the score up to 18-13 now. The Pikeville Panthers are still on top with 1:39 remaining here in the third quarter.
And if that was a planned play, it certainly didn't look pretty because it looked like he bobbled the ball back there for 2 or 3 seconds before he started running.
I'll tell you my own personal opinion. For a moment there, I thought it was a busted play, but when you do it like that, hey, you could say we had it planned the whole time.
Well, the Hazard Bulldogs take a timeout. We'll go ahead and stay right here. Clock is down to 1:39 left to go in the third quarter of play. 18-13 now is the score, and I suppose Hazard will be kicking the extra point, which would bring them to within 4 points of the Pikeville Panthers.
They kicked the last one, Kevin, and then again we thought they were going to punt last time. They may go ahead and go for the 2-point conversion now. For this Hazard team, I'll tell you what, I'm just totally, my arms are up in the air now, if they weren't froze.
Well, this is true. The Hazard Bulldogs, if they go for 2, that means a field goal would win the game for them if need be. But if they go for 1 point, they would need a field goal to tie. 1:39 now, clock is stopped, third quarter of play, and I'm sure the Pikeville coaches are running the sidelines, trying to figure out what's going on.
I'm quite sure that Coach Bill there has everybody hopping over on the sidelines. I'm sure he was not too happy over that play because one of the things you definitely have to have, your special teams have to play well in the playoffs, Kevin, to make a go of it.
This is true. And it looks like they are going to go for the two-point conversion.
1 for 12.
There's the option.
Fumble.
On the extra point. Two-point conversion attempt. It was no good. With that in mind, our score is 18-13. Pikeville still with the lead. We'll take a break and be back with the remainder of the third quarter in just a moment. Here on TV5 WPRG.
When life's unfortunate events happen, we sometimes see people at their worst. That's why we make it our goal to give them our best. If you've been involved in an auto accident, have a workers' compensation, Social Security, or SSI claim, you need an attorney with proven results. You need John Earl Hunt.
I'm attorney John Earl Hunt. I believe in the U.S. Constitution and I support the American flag. I'm a country lawyer. I'd be honored to represent you in your case. I'll treat you right. I'll do the best I can to help you.
39 left here in the third quarter of action. It's the playoffs, high school football in Region 1 Class A. And it looks like right now that the Hazard Bulldogs are set to kick off to the Pikeville Panthers. And right now, Pikeville is on top, 18-13. And with all the play-by-play action, here's Kevin Myers.
Thank you, Johnny. And back deep to receive for the Pikeville Panthers is J.I. Joplin. Looks like Nathan Ellswick and Richard Ketchy. It's an onside kick, taking it about the 36-37 line. And is able to make it up to about the 44. That is Nathan Ellswick on the carry that time.
I'll tell you what, he definitely took a couple licks that time. He just lowered his shoulder and he got at least about 10 extra yards that time. I'll tell you what, he took a couple of licks and he laid a couple himself down there.
He was hit initially back on about the 35-yard line, but as you mentioned, he was able to muscle through for a couple of extra yards. First and 10 for the Panthers, down on their own 42-yard line as they hand off to J.I. Joplin just around the right side, and he's going to be thrown for a loss of about 1.
I'll tell you what, that time J.I. Joplin just absolutely had no running room that time. This Hazard defense is starting to hold tough here in the last minute of the third quarter.
18-13 is the score. Pikeville, if they hope to win this game, they either need to kill a lot of clock or put 6 more points on the board.
Looks like it's going to be second down and 10 for the Pikeville Panthers with just under a minute to play.
Actually, the clock is down at 52 seconds left to go in the third quarter. Blair gets the snap. He's going to go back and pass under a lot of pressure. He's caught in the backfield and dropped back there on the 38-yard line.
He was dropped by number 33, Brian Campbell, for Hazard. I'll tell you what, he's also been one of the players for Hazard, been making some of the big defensive plays this evening for the Hazard Bulldogs.
And you can really tell that we're at Hazard because the Hazard press box is, of course, dominated by Bulldog fans. And as soon as J.P. Blair was hit and dropped, the press box shook.
Well, Kevin, that's kind of true. It's a little cold out here, and I think the way that things are echoing and whatnot. And, Kevin, are we going to have enough time to get one more play off before the clock runs down?
I believe so. I believe they're going to try to rush it. No, they're going to let it tick down. That brings it into the third quarter of play. 18-13 is the score. Pikeville on top of Hazard. We'll be back with the fourth and final quarter in just a moment. You're watching high school football on TV5 WPRG.
Quarter, the Pikeville Panthers are on top of the Hazard Bulldogs right now by a score of 18-13. It's a third down and 14 situation right now for the Pikeville Panthers. J.P. Blair takes the ball. He's back to pass. He throws. He's got a man open. It's complete. He makes it down to around the 40-yard line, and he's finally knocked out of bounds down around, I believe, Kevin, that was down around the 36-yard line.
Yeah, he caught that ball down there on about the 40, and he was chased out of bounds at about the 36. And that was a pretty close play because he fumbled the ball. He let the ball slip through his hands before he stepped out of bounds, but luckily the ball bounced on out the way he did.
That did luckily happen that time. The Pikeville Panthers got a break. And the Pikeville Panthers are once again threatening to score here in the fourth quarter after the first play, starting things out here in the fourth quarter. Pikeville Panthers come back up to the line of scrimmage once again. J.P. Blair under center. He takes the ball. He hands it off. And no running room that time. Ball was carried by number 24 for Pikeville, Nathan Ellswick. Don't believe, Kevin, he had much of a gain that time.
Not much at all on that play. He was really caught in the backfield. I think the Hazard defense just read that play. They've run that play several times tonight, and they just knew it was coming, and they were able to read it and catch him for no gain.
One of the things I think that has the Hazard Bulldogs concerned right now is the passing attack of Pikeville. On all of their scores so far this evening have come off passes so far. 11 minutes left here in the fourth and final quarter here at Hazard. Ball snap. J.P. Byers back to pass. He's got someone. He has to throw the ball away. Excellent coverage that time by the Hazard Bulldogs. Looks like it's going to bring up a 3rd down and 10 situation for the Pikeville Panthers.
And that was another situation, I believe, where Hazard was able to read the offensive play. But then again, the cold weather could have played factor on that in the pass not being completed.
Looks like it's going to bring up a 3rd down and 10 situation for the Pikeville Panthers. J.P. Blair brings his troops back up to the line. Almost in a situation right now, you expect Pikeville, they're out in a passing formation. J.P. Barry's back to pass. He's got a lot of time. He's got a lot of defenders on him. He throws the ball and just through the arms of number 17, John Hatfield of Pikeville, just a little bit out of his reach that time. It's going to bring up a 4th and 10 situation for the Pikeville Panthers, Kevin.
That was right through his hands. It was a perfect pass, just a little bit thrown too far to the left. He had a real good chance, a real good opportunity to catch that. And if Pikeville had caught that and completed the play, that would have put him up on about the 16-yard line.
Looks like the Pikeville Panthers are going to be content with punting right now. Kevin, it almost makes you wonder if maybe Coach Bill Lara is going to try something that Hazard tried a while ago, a little fake punt maybe.
Could. Maybe something to watch for. Nope, they go ahead and punt it away. Ketchy kicks it, takes a Pikeville roll, to say the least, down to about the 5, just short of the 5-yard line. And that's where the Hazard Bulldogs will take things over with 10:52 left to go in the game.
It's not a good break that time for the Hazard Bulldogs. They weren't able to return the kick that time, and they're going to be taking over. Really, they're not too happy with the field position right now, Kevin. They're going to be starting back around their own 10-yard line.
Well, they're not, shouldn't be happy at all with that field position. They've got a long way to march. Yeah, that 5 looks like a 10, and the 45 looks like the 50, doesn't it?
Well, I'm cold. That's the only excuse I have. I'm very cold at times.
1st and 10 for the Bulldogs, down on the 5. There's a handoff just around the right side to number 24, Colby Combs.
Looks like he had a pickup of about 5 on the carry. Looks like he made it out to about the 10-yard line that time. Made it up to the 10 this time anyway.
Gain of about 4. They're going to give him 2nd and 6. Clock is ticking on down. 10:20 left to go in the game. Kevin Myers along with a very cold Johnny Osborne.
A very cold Johnny Osborne at that. Hi, Mom.
Bring us a heating blanket.
Where's that heater at? Dr. Don's shaking over here in the shadows.
And he looks like a mummy over there, so if he's cold, we know that we don't have any reason to complain.
Jason.
Handoff right up the middle again to number 24, Colby Cole. Combs.
It's cold.
Colby Cold.
Looks like it's going to bring up about a 3rd down and 5 situation. Right now for the Hazard Bulldogs, still deep in their own territory right now. The Pikeville Panthers defense holding strong.
Well, that's what Pikeville needs to do right now. They need to let Hazard run off a little bit of the clock. let the offense get in there, run off a little bit of the clock. And if that Pikeville defense can bear down and keep Hazard from scoring, Pikeville has got this game in the bag, but not by a very big margin. 3rd and 4 for Hazard. Pikeville's defense needs to buckle down this time as they decide to pass over on the left side. It was a pass and it hit the ground, but nonetheless, it's not to being a first down. They get it up to about the 11.
It's going to bring up a 4th down situation. Didn't quite understand that one either. I was under the impression anyway that the ball hit the ground that time. It bounced off, took off, and it's going to bring up a 4th and 3 right now for the Hazard Bulldogs. And I would say, you think that they're going to go? They're deep in their own territory, far behind 13.
No, I believe they'll go ahead and kick this one away. There's still plenty of time left to go. 8:32 left to go in the game. 18-13 as Hazard opts to punt this one away. Nathan Ellswick is back deep for Pikeville. Hits at about 35. And he should have caught that. Pretty bad decision on behalf of Nathan Ellswick. He should have caught that ball to where they could at least be back on the 45.
Well, it's just one of those judgments you have to make when you're out there on the field. You have to think of it the way he was. You see about 5 defenders running toward you. Maybe he just thought he would play it safe, just in case with them cold hands and everything that he bobbled the ball or something. That could have been a very bad break for Pikeville, for Hazard to get another score and take the lead.
Yeah. So that could have been a very good call on behalf of Mr. Ellswick.
Could have been. You never know.
If he'd been hit and dropped for a fumble back there, it would have been too good.
Would not be pleased.
Pikeville 1st and 10 on their own 40. 8 minutes now left to go in this game. There's a handoff right up the middle. Makes it up to about the 48. Short gainer.
Looks like he picked up 2 or 3 yards on the carry. Just over 7 minutes left in the 4th quarter. The Pikeville Panthers kindly content running the clock out right now as Dr. Don just shivers over here. If you can only see Dr. Don tonight, he's got on his ski mask, his toboggan, his long jacket, the beard hanging out, and his headset on.
Looks like a little goatee or something. There's a keeper, or a handoff actually, just around the right side by John Hatfield. Should be about 2 or 3 yards short of the first down.
Looks like they're going to call it about a 3rd and 2 right now.
Tackled by Jason Roberts.
Pikeville Panthers are just pretty content keeping the ball on the ground, keeping that clock moving.
I think it is your mind that goes first when you get cold. I'm not sure.
I know that's happened to us up here tonight anyway.
Quarter score, Cumberland 34, Fleming Neon 19.
Whoa.
Whoa. Wow.
Cumberland on top of Fleming Neon, 34-19 in the 4th quarter.
18-13 is the score here. Pikeville up to their own 48-yard line. And J.P. Blair keeps it himself. I think they're going to have to bring out the chains again, but I believe he got enough for the first down.
Well, Kevin, I believe you're right. I believe he does have it, but it does look like they're going to be calling for the chain gang to come out and get a little measurement, and that's a very much-needed first down right now for the Pikeville Panthers. And the Pikeville Panthers have a first down. 6 minutes and 30 seconds remaining here in the 4th and final quarter. Pikeville on top, 18-13, as Kevin Myers jogs in place trying to keep warm. Looks like the Pikeville Panthers are going to have it on about the 49-yard line. J.P. Blair comes up under center. Has the ball off to the first man through. Looked like Nathan Ellswick picks up about maybe 3 yards.
He got a pretty good gain that time, had a good momentum coming off the front line. Got it up to about the 46-yard line. Enough for a gain of about 3.
Enough for a gain of about 3. It's going to bring up a 2nd and 7 situation for the Pikeville Panthers. You can still hear all the fans down there from Hazard. They're giving it all it's worth tonight, Kevin.
What is that you all call them, plastic ducks?
Oh, that's what Don calls them.
Okay.
J.P. Blair hands off once again to Nathan Ellswick. He picks up, Kevin, a couple more yards there.
That was that same exact play. They just run it right around the right side right side of the center, the front line of Pikeville was able to open up somewhat of a hole for Ellswick, and he picked up a couple of yards again.
Looks like it's going to bring up a 3rd and 3 situation for the Pikeville Panthers. Pikeville breaks huddle. They come back out and up to the line of scrimmage. J.P. Blair gets his troops ready. Takes the ball, hands it off to J.I. Joplin. And I don't believe he's going to have enough for the first down.
Should be about 1.5 yards short. Joplin thought that he had enough momentum to go and barrel on up through to get the first down, but Hazard's defense, they just caught him right by the knees and dropped him back.
Looks like it's going to bring up a 4th and 2nd situation right now for the Pikeville Panthers. And do you think the Pikeville Panthers are going to be going toward it here, or are they just going to go ahead and kick it off to the Hazard Bulldogs? Only 4 minutes left.
Well, I think they've got the lead right now, and this would not be very good field position for the Hazard Bulldogs. If you remember, last time Hazard took it over down on their 5-yard line, and you look where Pikeville got the field position. So I think they're going to go ahead and kick it off with the hopes that Pikeville's defense can hold them and do the same thing as they did last time to kill the clock.
And it looks like Pikeville is going to be calling a timeout. And right now we do have 4 minutes and 19 seconds left here in the 4th quarter. Pikeville's on top 18-13 at Hazard. And we'll be back with more after this TV timeout on WPRG TV5 Sports.
Caring for the loved ones of others during their twilight years can be an emotionally challenging task. Don't mistake that challenge as something completely draining. There's a lot of potential for a hospice nursing career to be emotionally rewarding. Hospice nurses seek to help patients live life to its fullest. If you feel this is where your heart can truly help others, email us at info@apphchs.org or call Appalachian Hospice and Home Health Services today.
Welcome back, everyone. Pikeville Panthers being forced to punt this one away to the Hazard Bulldogs. 4:19 left to go in the 4th quarter of play. 18-13 is the score, and Pikeville definitely needs to get it down inside the 10, possibly the 5-yard line.
And it kind of looks right now like the Pikeville Panthers are going to be punting off, Kevin.
There's the kick. That's a nice one. Taking it about the 11-yard line. Was carried that time by Warren, and he took it on about the 10-yard line and got a pretty good gainer up to about the 22-yard line.
Short return that time by the Hazard Bulldogs. Hazard is going to try to get something going here. There's just 4 minutes and 10 seconds left here in the 4th quarter, and I'll tell you what, if Hazard is going to do something and remain unbeaten, they better be doing it fast, because the Pikeville Panthers are really closing in on that. They're going to put a damper on that unbeaten season that they're hoping for this year.
Well, Hazard needs to get something going, but then again, the Pikeville defense needs to buckle down right now. There's Warren. Breaks a couple of tackles. Makes it up to about the 37.
I'll tell you what, it looked like he was tackled that time by a Pikeville defender, but he just didn't have enough to bring him down. He was able to break loose and picked up at least another 5 yards that time.
That was a real good run. He was able to shake a couple of tackles. And our number one Pikeville filming fan over here, Dr. Don, is still cheering the Panthers on.
He's cheering the Pikeville Panthers to victory, Kevin. Look at the time like the ball was handed off straight up the middle to number 32. Looks like no gain that time. Well, the PA announcer is going to give him 1 yard. It's going to bring up a 2nd and 9 situation. I'll tell you what, the clock just keeps ticking down on Hazard right now.
Well, Hazard needs to get things going. 2nd and 9. They can't really afford to punt it away because the clock is Hazard's enemy right now. Waiting for the snap. Grigsby gets it. Hands off to Warren, or actually Combs that time on the carry. And he slipped up in the backfield.
That time he was tackled by number 61, Mark May from Pikeville, the big guy getting in on a tackle that time. I'll tell you what, if the Pikeville Panthers can keep the Hazard Bulldogs from scoring on this drive right here, I think Pikeville has definitely won the game. It's the biggest drive of this whole game right now for the Hazard Bulldogs.
It's very important. Only 2:25 left to go in the game. And unless there are some major turnovers, Hazard needs to get things going right here.
Intercepted!
Woo!
Wrong!
It looked like that was going to be intercepted because he was double defended back there.
I'll tell you, Dr. Don just absolutely went wild that time. He was like me, thought there was an interception that time, and Dr. Don just lost control of his emotions here.
Intercepted!
Oh, it may be cold, but we're having fun.
That's what it's all about. If we were bored to death, we'd probably be dead right now. 3rd and 9 now. Probably the most crucial play of the game if Pikeville's defense can hold him. Catches him in the backfield. And we got a fumble, and Pikeville recovers it.
Woo! I'll tell you what, that is pretty much going to be the icing on the cake. I'd say more than likely for the Hazard Bulldogs. A dream of an unbeaten season. It looks like it's over now, Kevin. Pikeville Panthers are on top, 18-13, 2:04 left here in the 4th quarter. And it looks like it's just going to be all the Pikeville Panthers as they take possession once again.
Well, you can't, I still stick with the fact that you can't rule Hazard out. There could be a fumble. There could be another fumble.
Hey, anything can happen.
Anything can happen, but if things go as they have gone, and Pikeville's won the game.
God knows I've been wrong already more than once tonight.
Pikeville will have it 1st and 10 down on the Hazard 39. There's the snap. Blair hands off up the middle. Hit at the line of scrimmage. Maybe a gain of about a yard.
They won. And Dr. Don's just loving it over here.
Jason McCoy.
We'll have to make you the resident prognosticator.
I told you, if it's a low-scoring game, they win.
Gain of 2.
The defense is too good.
Don hit it right tonight, didn't he? The Pikeville Panther defense has just about definitely won the game tonight. That and Tony Newsom and J.P. Blair, they've connected twice for touchdowns. And I'll tell you what, an all-out great performance from the Pikeville Panthers tonight.
They definitely deserve a pat on the back after tonight's contest as they take it up to about the 35-yard line. McCoy that time on the carry. And we got a Hazard Bulldog down on the field, injured.
Kevin, only 51 seconds remaining right now in the 4th and final quarter.
We have an injury timeout down on the field. So we'll go ahead and stay right here. Well, we have a chance. Mr. Johnny Osborne's going to read off our list of sponsors and the folks who have brought you tonight's contest.
Okay, and once again, we would like to thank all of our sponsors tonight. We'd like to thank Ann's Pedals and Lace, Sound City, Jerry's Restaurant, East Kentucky Water, Delta Supply, Lane Brothers Ford, Williamson Memorial Hospital, Costain Coal Company, Brooks Pharmacy, and the Citizens Bank.
Replay Sunday at 7.
And this game will be replayed tonight when we get back, and Sunday at 7 o'clock on WPRG. And if you would like a copy of this game or any of the other things that we film, I'll tell you what, you can just give us a call at 478-4200. It'll cost you $20, and you can take you a tape home of your favorite event or just whatever. Just give Jennifer a call at 478-4200.
Well, I'm not really sure if Pikeville goes on to win tonight who they're going to play, but if the PA announcer giving the Cumberland Fleming Neon score so often, I would think that they go on to play the Cumberland Redskins from down in Harlan County next week.
I'll tell you what, if Pikeville ends up playing Cumberland next week, I'll tell you what, it's going to be a really surprising ball game.
Pikeville plays Cumberland because Cumberland won tonight, so let's see who they'll play.
Pikeville does play Cumberland if they do win.
What an assumptuous kind of guy. You know.
What an assumptuous kind of guy you really are.
Or try to be.
one of the things that could make it interesting if the Pikeville Panthers meet them. If you remember earlier in the year, though, one of the only losses that Pikeville had this year came at the hands of Fleming Neon, and Fleming Neon was just defeated tonight by the Cumberland Redskins.
But I think we've seen a totally different Pikeville team tonight. It seems like just about everything has been able to click for them. And if they can play the rest of the playoffs the way they have tonight, they've got a pretty good chance of going on to some other games.
I'll tell you, one of the things that's absolutely helped the Pikeville Panthers tonight is the turnovers. They have not made, I believe they've only turned the ball over one time.
We just heard the public address announcer give the Belfry score. It looks like Belfry is going to go on to lose tonight to the Bell County Bobcats. So, but despite the fact that this could be the end of the season for the Belfry Pirates, they've had a successful year.
Clock's ticking on down right now. Just about 33 seconds left here in the fourth and final quarter. Pikeville Panthers have the ball. It's a 3rd and 6 situation.
Pikeville's just going to sit on the ball. They've got this game won.
Way to go.
Tell you what, you can see the Pikeville Panthers are already celebrating over there.
Well, it's kind of hard to give a closing synopsis, but the Hazard Bulldogs thought they were going to come into tonight's contest and handily defeat the Pikeville Panthers because Pikeville so handily beat the Bulldogs last year. But the Pikeville Panthers come in here a big-time underdog, and they pull off a big-time upset to go ahead and play Cumberland next week in the Class A semifinals in state high school football.
I'll tell you what, Kevin, we couldn't have picked a better ball game to do tonight. I'll tell you what, this right here is going to be, I would say, probably the biggest upset in the state tonight.
We'll tell you what, we'll go ahead and take a break. Once again, our final score, 18-13. The Pikeville Panthers beat the Hazard Bulldogs here in Hazard. We'll take a break and be back with some post-game interviews, hopefully with Coach Bill Alera and some of the Pikeville football players in just a moment. You're watching high school football on TV5 WPRG.
My family means everything, and I'll do whatever it takes to make sure they're safe in our home. I started with this, a whole home security system with 24/7 monitoring. We control our system from anywhere, and wherever I am, I can see my family's okay.
You'd do anything to protect your family. Start with this, a smart home security system from Gearhart Security. Call or visit gearhartsecurity.com to learn more.
Once again, the Pikeville Panthers defeat the Hazard Bulldogs by a score of 18-13, and Pikeville coach Bill Alera joins us now. And Coach, you basically had control of the entire game tonight.
We played super well on defense. I tell you, our kids been focused in all week. I mean, this is the best intensity we played with all year. They just seem to concentrate in practice and the films and just kind of, you know, it's I tell you, there's a lot of mental in it. And I think mentally we awoke and become awake this week, you know, in this game. You know, we had a couple breakdowns, give them a couple big plays there on the fake punt, and then we had our defense in. Probably, I mean, we said they're probably going to fake it, but still, you know, it was a good play on their part. The kid made a good run, and you know, but you know, these things happen. This is a young team. I think it's a great win for this team. To be as young as we are. So we got one senior, that's first-year player. We got one junior first-year player. So, you know, we got some young kids out there.
Now, you had a couple of turnovers and a couple of face mask penalties, but other than that, I guess you all stuck with the game plan.
We pretty much stuck with it, you know. They did bounce back and get some scores there and you know, kind of alters your plan a little bit at times, but we tried to go back to it and keep throwing the ball, even though we thought, well, maybe we shouldn't, but, you know, we went ahead and threw it anyway.
Okay, coming up next week, you got the Cumberland Redskins, pretty tough down the Harlan County way.
Well, this is a great win for us, and by Cumberland beating Fleming on, we go to our home field, you know, for the rest of the playoffs as long as we can last in at least the next 2 games. And hopefully we can get there and get to the state and Louisville. But we're taking them one game at a time. I mean, we can't overlook nobody, and you don't overlook people at this stage of the game. There's no ducks out there, you know, in these playoffs, I'll tell you.
Well, Coach Bill Allaire, thank you very much, and congratulations on the win.
Well, thank you much.
Thank you. That's Coach Bill Allaire from the Pikeville Panthers with a very impressive win tonight over the 11-0 Hazard Bulldogs. Once again, coming up next week, the Pikeville Panthers take on the Cumberland Redskins. This is going to be played at Pikeville, so WPRG TV5 will be there to bring you that contest, so stay tuned for more details on that. Once again, our final score here, the Pikeville Panthers 18, the Hazard Bulldogs 13. For Johnny Osborne, Dr. Don on camera, I'm Kevin Myers saying so long from Hazard.